Hey, I do believe we're live. We've been having a good chat about driving, and glasses, amongst other things. But I'm having a great time. It's time to put a stop to that. Let's start talking about some records. Welcome to the show, episode 90 of what you're listening to. It's going to be a great show. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's going to be a great show. Fun show. I can feel it. Everybody got 5 records or more? Hopefully, maybe some more, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, there's always a way to sneak an extra.
Yeah, you're good at that, Mike.
I'm going to do it tonight. Don't you worry.
I'm not worried.
Anne, Paul, Diane, me. It's going to be a great show. Rachel's here in the chat.
Hi, Rachel.
And Anne.
Oh, I have a fan. Yay!
Anne the fan, we call her.
Well, I am the fan of Rachel, so
Yes,
it's mutual admiration society.
There you go. All right, let me just do the old thingy, the like and subscribe. You'll notice that the color scheme is matching my neutrals t-shirt.
I like it.
It's the attention to detail that people tune in.
That's why people keep coming back, right?
Keep coming back. What color's the thing going to be tonight?
Mike, just on a personal note, did you ever consider naming the triplets in your grandbabies like and subscribe?
Well, fortunately, I didn't have a say in it, so
that's probably very fortunate.
That's fine. All right, shall we get going? Let's explain the show a little bit. I feel like sometimes people haven't watched the show before, so like what we do, we've each got 5 records we've been listening to, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to have a good time talking about them.
You're supposed to listen to them?
But what did you said the show, you thought it was called What Do You Like?
Why are you like that?
Why are you like that?
Artie and Charles, you're like, oh, why are you like that? It almost
like that?
3 of us, it made more sense. A deep dive into that psyche.
All right, I'm going in. So I got my first pick as a record that got cruelly ousted by Iron Maiden in the last show, because I went to see Iron Maiden in Osaka a few weeks ago, and obviously leading up to the show, because it's a weird tour, this one. They're playing like 2 sort of outlier records on the tour, so I was like, got to catch up with those 2 records. So last week I was listening to Iron Maiden, so this record kind of got put into the next week pile, but it's a good record, and it's quite different to Iron Maiden. In fact, you can't get much different than Iron Maiden to this record. Going back to the Philippines, 1984. Now, I kind of looked this up a little bit, and if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Comment section is important. It's one of the only punk records ever on vinyl from the Philippines, apparently. I mean, prove me wrong. I'll be happy to be proved wrong. Let's have a look at the record. It's this one. Here it is. Third World Chaos. Their one and only album, New Move for Error, which came out on Tower Records, but not that Tower Records, a different Tower Records, not the Tower Records. And, they had a 7-inch out before this, which is on a major label, RCA. Interesting. And I looked it up. When you look this up, not much information comes about this record. They got a terrible review at Maximum Rock and Roll. Which, that could be a bonus. That could be a good thing.
That's not the singer from Journey's band? Or is it?
Or is it?
Oh, that guy? Oh, the Journey have a guy from the Philippines singing, right? I don't think it's him. It could be his son. I don't know.
So tell us about the record.
I'm going to. Let's get to the point. Let's get to the crux. Let's get to the meat. So I was thinking maybe, it wouldn't be unreasonable to think the year, the location, you might be getting some sort of like buzzcore, like super raw, primitive hardcore, like you would have gotten from like Colombia or Brazil or Peru. No, not the case. In fact, it's very like well recorded and tuneful, melodic 77 punk from 1984. Yeah, I mean, completely like Pistols, Ramones style. Stays at the same speed like all the way through. That sort of mid-paced. Some might call it plodding. I'm not going to. The songs are not amazing. They're not like, wow, that's like a super hit. It's not going to set your world on fire, but like for like a sort of interesting like historical document, I think it's pretty amazing.
What did Maximum Rock and Roll say about it?
They said it was like boring, plodding, like 77 style punk with not very many good songs or something like that, like 3 cents. But think about it though, like in 1984, like 77 punks like style, people didn't really like 77 style punk in the hardcore scene. It was like really old. It sounded like the Kinks or the Herman's Hermits or something, right? At that point. It was old news. Like 77 punk. People didn't really like 77 punk in 1984, so it was probably a bit of a weird thing to get in the mail that day. Like a record that sounded like this. But I think it's good. It's good. It's decent. If you like 77 punk, it's the only full-length LP on vinyl from the Philippines that's punk. So that's pretty cool, I think. New move for Error. Third World Chaos. And the chorus of the first song. I can't believe they didn't even mention this in Maximum Rock and Roll. The chorus of the first song is "Stick sophistication up your ass." That's the chorus of the first song, which that's notable. That's notable.
Like that.
It's notable. It's a notable thing. They didn't know.
I think it might be funny to see who wrote that review. If it's somebody like
it was like one of the big four.
Oh.
Hale or Tim Yohannan.
Yes, it wasn't him. It was like Steve Spinelli or someone like that. Or
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't Ruth because she was probably trying to sell it more to him.
I do think this is a bootleg because apparently the original is worth a few dollars. I think this is a bootleg that came out at some point. But yeah, 77 punk, the Philippines, important document in the world of punk. That's my first pick, and I apologize to the members for ousting them in favor of Iron Maiden 2 weeks ago. That's my first pick. There you go.
That was cool.
Yeah, check it out if you can. It's
I'm
probably on
going
YouTube.
to check it out.
It's probably on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Yes, as everything is these days.
So what do you mean that you ousted them?
I ousted them.
You were going to talk about it last week.
Yeah, but I was. It was in my pile, and then like I was going to go. And I was, had Iron Maiden coming up, so I was listening to Iron Maiden records instead of Filipino punk.
Nice.
Yes. So yes, now they're back. All right, there we go. All right, Anne, what's your first pick?
I go first. Okay, I am really shocked going through the playlist of all the episodes. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I looked it up wrong. I cannot believe that this band has never been discussed on any episode of this show. And I want to say, well, first of all, of course, you know me, listen where.
Listen where.
There's always a listen where. So I always have to do my little reveal.
Oh,
yay.
You know what? You're right. I think you're right. I think they.
I was like, did I make a mistake? No one has ever talked about the Lunatics ever in 90 episodes. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's my where. And okay, so here's my listen. Now it's funny because, all right, I have to remember how to do this right. Number one, it still has my sound sticker on it. I can't get this right. There it is. See my sound sticker on there, $10.99. Anybody who's from New York knows that Sounds put these horrible stickers on their records that never came off. but for some reason this was on a plastic sleeve, so it didn't ruin the record cover. They would normally stick it right on the freaking record and ruin the record. So this is actually still in a plastic sleeve, so yay, it didn't ruin the record. Anyway, this is Lunachic's first album, Babysitters on Acid. I cannot get this right. I'm sorry, everyone. I stink. There it is. There it is. There it is. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll never move again. Okay. Anyway, so there's the and then as you know, this is what I usually do is put it up here behind me. I have my system in place. So there you go. Paul's like, wait, what should I do that? Anyway, okay. Babysitters on Acid, the first album from the Lunachicks. How has no one ever talked about it? Not only this one, but no Lunachicks album.
Oh.
So I am here to bring the love to Lunachicks to the world, and I feel like they're not loved. They're not loved enough, as much as they have had like a kind of resurgence since they like played a few years ago at Webster Hall. They did 2 nights. I was at one of them. Reading Rachel's little comment there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, especially back then, they didn't get that much love, and I didn't really like them at first. I have to say, it's terrible to say, but I'm going to be honest. At the very, very beginning, and I was like seeing them and listening to them way at the beginning, I was like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. And then like it took me like probably a year, and I probably saw them like 10 times in that year. Maybe the 11th time, I was like, it just like went, and I was like, oh my God, they're the greatest band that's ever lived. and then it was like love forever. And I think they're wonderful. And so this album came out in 1990. It's on Blast First Records. And I don't really know what else to say, because I mean, everyone knows Lunachicks by now, right?
Oh, question?
Yeah, I do have a question. So they're actually a band that has been in sort of my atmosphere but never grabbed onto it. Tons of my like friends love them. Is that a good place to start if I were to dig in, or is there another album that you think?
I don't know. I don't think it's a good place to start, because I don't know if it's like produced that great for people who like are like, see, I'm sort of have like a, I don't know. I'm kind of like a tin ear. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I'm kind of dopey when it comes to like production and all. Like I'm not a musician, so I don't recognize like a lot of like great stuff that people who record and are musicians do. So like I might be like, this is great, and my friend will be like, it's so muddy, it's horrible, you can't even hear anything. Like I don't necessarily always like recognize that. So maybe, not that I'm putting a second one in, but I mean, maybe I'm sneaking in a second one already.
Put the second one in, and the third one.
Maybe start with this one. Second one, Binge and Purge. This is actually probably my favorite album of theirs. If I am telling you anything, so I'll put that one up there too. All right, so I would start with that one, and like the first song is like one of my favorite songs of theirs. So like if you don't like that first song on that second album, then you probably aren't going to like anything of theirs. That is what I think.
Is it fair? Is it lazy? Is it unfair to sort of lump them in with, L7 and Babes in Toyland? Do people do that? Is that what they do? They kind of get pigeonholed into that kind of thing?
I don't think they're like those bands, because I think that Theo has a different kind of voice, and I think that's what at very early days I wasn't ready to accept. But like early days I didn't like the Misfits. When I was like a little kid, because I didn't understand that voice to me was like not punk. It was like rock, but it's punk. I think I felt exactly the same way about Lunachicks. Like I was like, that's not really punk, because she's got this kind of deeper voice, and they have a little bit of more of a rockish, but I mean, they're totally punk, so that was stupid. They're just,
I do remember them in England in the music press, but them being, all the girl bands from the early 90s being one.
I think they're really unique in my opinion. They're not, I mean, you could put them in certainly the same universe as L7. Absolutely. They two played shows together, but I don't think there's any band like them. I just think they're really special. And I'm so happy like the light bulb went off one day, because I would be so sad if I didn't love this band. And was so happy to see them when they did that like reunion show at Webster Hall, and it was amazing. And I hope they play more, and they're still super great. Everyone should go see them if they play. So that is my first pick. Nice. And my second pick, but not really. It's like pick and a half, so don't count that one.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I guess. Oh no, you know what? I do have the first album, and there might have been a point where I did think about showing it, but I didn't. So it's good. Finally, we've got the Lunatics.
Yay!
Better late than never.
My first pick.
Your first, Paul. What you got?
So, yeah, I was really into tape comps back in the late 80s and stuff, especially some of those Comet Bus, everything coming out of the Bay Area I was grabbing up as fast as I could. And there were always tons of weird bands on there. And one of the bands that always stuck with me was this band called the Schmidt Heads. And recently, No Plan Records, who does a lot of, like, they put out the Political Asylum demo, they did like the Cry record. What else did they do? The Breeders, not the Kim Breeder. What's her last name? Kim Deal. Not
Deal.
I think they were from Colorado or something like that. The more noisy band. So they actually just put this out, and there was only one song on like a Comet Bus mixtape, but it's the Schmidt Heads, and it's on No Plan Records, and it's all of their demos. And oddly, I can't believe that. Maybe I can believe, because I believe it. So that they weren't, I guess, picked up more because they played with early Green Day and Blatz and Filth and all of those bands, but it might be because they didn't really have a definable sound. Like some of it is almost gothy, while other parts are like hardcore, but all still really loose and shitty. Like it could also be on Mystic. So this record I was really happy to get. It compiles 2 demo tapes and a live KPLX or whatever, that radio station out there that all the bands play on. I think they play with like Mr. Bungle and stuff too. Like they weren't fitting anywhere. They've got dual vocals, male and female, and it was just a surprise because, like you, and I don't have an ear for like the technical veracity of things and how perfect things are, unless it's like right in my face. But if something comes through with passion, like the band The Trashies or whatever, their Get Daddy a Chicken Sandwich, I'm like, that's a shitty sounding song, but it is just remarkable how they are to that song, right? So this is similar in that, and particularly at some of the weird bass parts and the goth parts, and then the way they jump into a hardcore song, and the fact that it's pretty much just named. They're from Arcata, California, because they just would always just drink Schmidt's beer when they played. And after like their 3rd or 4th show, they were like, I guess we should commit to something to put on a flyer. And then that's the way it happened. So for all you fans of Comet Bus and things of the like, No Plan
I love
Records.
Comet Bus.
All of these things that I'm showing tonight, I looked up to, and they are available still from the distributor versus Discogs.
Nice.
So
good info.
Go the way you want. In the U.S., it's Puke and Vomit, and overseas, it's No Plan. And
No Plan.
There you go.
Who is that on the cover?
That is a dude from the band, I believe, just drinking next to his little.
Is he wearing a Husker Du t-shirt, or is that my?
He is.
He is.
Weird to do this backwards. It's the Land Speed record. It's with all the it's just drinking, hanging out by a wall, as one does when they're about to play or have done playing their songs titled Falling or Stuck on You or Black Roses or Coldest Place or Ride the Sky or Walk the Line or you get it.
All hits.
Yeah.
All hits.
KALX, that's it.
KALX radio show. Radio station, sorry.
And Daniel thinks that maybe Jerk of All Trades might be the best entry point for Lunatics. And I also love that album too. So
Yeah, that's probably a good recommendation.
yeah, that might be the good
Third
album.
Third album.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah. He's stealing your idea. Look.
As you may or may not know, I like to share ideas.
This is communal.
All right, beautiful. All right, Diane, what's your first pick?
I have a 7-inch. This is Northeast Regional,
Oh.
and the 7-inch is called Fitness.
It's so tiny, but I can read it because I have my glasses on.
See, it's an eye test record. Northeast Regional is from Richmond, Virginia, and I saw them less than a month ago at the Dark Days, Bright Nights Festival in Richmond, Virginia, which I went to, and I hadn't heard them before, and I came back with this. They have 3 guitars.
Ooh.
And they're, I guess, post-hardcore. Just you know what they have? They have that like wow, like that atonal guitar thing in there, but it's fast. It's like wow, you know. But good counter melodies. Let's see. This came out in 2023.
Okay.
And good yelling vocals, but it's catchy. So the catchy part, like Rocket from the Crypt, it like in this like kind of hardcore stuff. And I like them. I like them very much. I was very happy to see them. Let's see. There's no beat on there. What?
Did you hit Vinyl Conflict when you were there?
I did not. I just shopped at the festival, which was 3 days in the same building. And the Kalara reunion was there.
Oh, okay.
Which I plugged last time I was on.
You did.
I had to do it. But yeah,
Are there songs about working out, or how does fitness tie into?
No, but it's funny because they're called Northeast Regional, and I looked them up, and their album before, all of their album titles are sort of like train references, and Northeast Regional is the name of the train line that goes from DC to Virginia. So like, unless you know the name of their record, if you look them up, you're just going to find a train timetable. This day and age of like the internet, when you try to like spell your name different so you do come up on searches, they're like, searches? Nah, let's just to ourselves. Yeah, I don't even know if they're all into trains. And an aside, I'm trying to think what the name of the band was. I saw a band at Rebellion that all their songs were about trains.
You know what? It's not Eastfield.
No,
that's another train band. Not Blind Power.
Well, what is happening with train bands?
People are sort of like, it's very romantic, time, like when trains were sort of made of wood, and and you'd sort of chuff through the countryside with steam.
When
it
wheels
has
are
more to do with. Yeah, I think it has more to do with kids growing up with Thomas the Train and reaffirming their morality and their vicious vision for truth.
I remember hearing that Justin Broderick from Godflesh grew up like next to a train like depot, so that's why the like like was in all of his music.
Makes sense, yeah.
That was like cozy for him.
I could see Paul Bear from Sheer Terror being in a train band, like a song just all about.
I could see him wearing a conductor's coat. Like an engineer's cap, actually. Yeah. I could see him doing that.
Toot, motherfucker!
Paulie.
I like trains. We were actually talking a little bit about trains before the show, and I was saying how I was going to try train over to see my.
Diane, how many songs are on that?
Sorry,
Three songs. Tres. Agencies, Isometrics, and the Timekeepers. The Timekeepers might be a little train referencing.
We need more of them on the British trains, I hear. Terrible.
Oh, the Timekeepers? Really?
British trains like never run on time, right? If it's like an hour late, it's sort of on time kind of thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know that well. Oh, and you know what? It's on Tor Johnson Records. Can you see Tor? Oh, you probably can't.
There he is.
The big tie and the dead eyes. Gotta.
Nice. All right, beautiful. Wow, it's round 2 already. It's my turn. Talking about Iron Maiden, as I was at the beginning.
Oh, you're going to do that again.
Let's talk about them a little bit, very briefly, because this band I'm going to talk about, I think some people, not everyone, would like Iron Maiden to be more like this band. So instead of like writing like 18-minute songs about like Henry VIII, played at a snail's pace, they'd like Iron Maiden to keep writing more songs like they used to do back in like the 80s, right? This band does that, and they're from the same era, but they sort of broke up and then got back together. And we're talking about Satan. We're talking about Satan.
Oh.
I'm going to talk about Satan, and I'm going to show a lot of Satan. Prepare yourselves for Satan. So, first album, 83, Neat Records. They're from Newcastle, the home of Raven and Venom, and probably others like the Tigers of Pantang. The home of like new wave British heavy metal. Caught in the Act is the LP they put out in 83. They changed their name, and then they came back under Satan, made a couple of not that great records, and then they went away. 2013, they came back. I'm going to call this the best comeback record of all time. I'm calling it. I'm saying it. Which is this.
All order.
Life Sentence, Satan. This is not my pick. I'm leading up to my pick. So they came back with this record. Great. Keep the artwork in your mind. There's a theme. Look at that.
There's a train and a smokestack.
There. You know what? I had to double check if there was a train. I remember there being a train on that. And this, and then Atom by Atom came out. Look at that. Beautiful.
I'm seeing a thread.
Right. Cruel Magic came out.
I see another thread.
There you go. Earth Infernal came out. There it is.
Yes.
And then finally, this month, we got the new record. Songs in Crimson. There it is. The exact same aesthetic they've been, had the whole time. Never wavering, never changing. Man, this band is like absolutely incredible. They're all like up there. They're probably as old as Iron Maiden. Maybe a little bit younger, like 60s. They've got like the twin guitar attack. They've got Brian Ross on vocals, who like his voice is just like it's like honey or syrup or something. It's just a smooth, beautiful to listen voice. It almost has like a sort of 70s sort of folk. So it's in that sort of mid-range. Every now and again he does go up a little bit higher. But like because he has that kind of voice, he hasn't ruined his voice. He still sounds as good now as he did back in like 1983. And this is one of those records, like, if you think, well, I don't really like heavy metal, give this one a go. Give Satan a go, because there's such a fun, give Satan a go. Give him a chance,
I'm gonna give Satan a go.
And come on, look at these guys, they're like stuck in like 1982. And talking about the production thing, there were some complaints about how the production was like muddy and stuff. No, it's not really. They just don't use any of the sort of modern things that we have now. Their records sound kind of dated. They sound like a heavy metal record from like 1983. It's not like whatever they do these days. You're not going to find any auto tune.
I saw them last year.
Well, I bet they were amazing, weren't they?
They were great. My boyfriend got them by I thought they were great, and I was looking forward to seeing them.
They play in small clubs. Iron Maiden plays in stadiums and charges like $500 for a ticket. This band is as good as Iron Maiden. Like, these records are as good as like classic era Iron Maiden. They really are.
Did they ever catch shit for their name at all, like other bands, like Little
That
Bit?
is, you know what? This is a very funny question, because I watched this horrible podcast called Sea of Tranquility, which is like this sort of boomer dude, sort of a Rick Beato kind of fella. He often will talk about like heavy metal and progressive rock and stuff. And he every time he talks about Satan, he has to mention that, like, he gets a lot of like comments and emails about like, I'm not going to listen to a band called Satan, but they're all Americans, you know. They're all, you know, and
We're such a touchy bunch.
what's wrong with Satan? Like, it's a Satan. It's like, you know, I don't get it.
Can I show you a picture? I went to see Creator last night.
Oh.
And they had these inflatables. You see, that's the drum kit. But they talk about saying hello to Satan. Like,
Creator, say hello to Satan.
hi guys. Hi. I just had to. You know, it was worth.
Love Creator, love Satan. I mean, I haven't listened to this one long enough or as many times to sort of like rank the recent Satan albums. You know, it's probably in the middle somewhere. It's not the best, it's not the worst. But I'm so excited. New Satan record. Classic heavy metal. Beautiful.
So did you pre-order it to get it shipped to your home?
I mean, you know, it's on Metal Blade, so it's not hard to get. You know, I did pre-order it, and I got like I don't know the color that they've named this. It's called Penguin Blue.
That's not very satanic at all.
It's like penguins aren't blue anyway. I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, if it's light blue, that might be like a glacier-y thing.
Right. I don't know why.
Blue is
Penguin black and white.
Yeah. What shade of blue is it?
What? It's not even blue. It's brown. Maybe I've been ripped off. It's actually sort of very light teal, I suppose you would call it. It's got
there's like a blue like shimmer.
Yeah, it looks different on camera, but I was going to say one more thing, which is I was talking about Brian Ross, the singer. He put another record out with his other band, Blitzkrieg. Which blows my mind, because like Blitzkrieg are also like a classic like new wave British
metal band,
right? And they've got a new album. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm really excited to sort of check out like what the new Blitzkrieg records.
Just out of curiosity,
Brian Ross singing.
Krieg, yeah.
I'm just saying that like Gurn just posted it's cotton candy blue. I don't know if I've seen that color. Maybe only in New Jersey for cotton candy, but that's pretty muddy. That's pretty
cotton candy blue. Isn't that like the fifth Skidoo record?
Maybe that's like Meadowlands cotton candy. Like as you walk through them,
like
covered
cotton candy. When your kid drops it in a puddle and then you pick it up and they still try to eat it.
Satan's cotton candy.
All
right. Yeah, I'm excited about Satan. I love Satan. I think it's just incredible that they're still going and putting out these amazing records. All right. And what's your second pick?
All right. My next pick. Let's see. Which one should I pick? My next one. This one, I'm surprised that Rachel never did this one. I'm sure she has this record. This is. I bet she does. Mercenarius.
That's been on my like once list for ages, and it never shows up.
There it is. Okay, this record is amazing, and I love it. And I probably got it like within the last year, like sometime in the last year I bought it. And actually I thought about doing it like last time. I don't know why I bumped it for something else. But anyway, so this is a reissue. It's amazing. Rachel's saying I'm excited about Same, but Rachel, do you have
nice.
this? Do you have this album? Okay, so this band, this is a Brazilian like old woman band, and she does have it. And this album was originally released in 1986. And then it was like, I guess it was probably gone, like nobody could find it. And then it was reissued. I wrote it down. I didn't write down when it was reissued, but maybe like last year.
Is it Sub Discos?
No, this is on Beat Generation Records.
Okay, Spanish label, right?
Yeah. So I probably like reissued like a year ago, I think. I can't remember exactly when. I wrote it down though, I thought. And I'm really terrible at like describing like what things sound like. I just feel like I'm like it's like awesome, man. I really love it. And it's like, yeah. And I read a review. I think you've had like Erica on the show before, and she wrote a really, really great review of it on the Maximum Rock and Roll website. So and I thought I had it up on my computer screen. I was gonna read some of it, but I turned it off. But anyway, she described it as sort of like Bush Tetras, only like ferocious and like hardcore. I mean, I don't really think like on the Wikipedia they like say it's sort of like Susie Slits, whatever. I don't really feel that way. I'm not really hearing that. I mean, like kind of a ferocious Bush Tetras is probably like the best description, but it's just really great. Sort of post-punk, but totally punk.
Yeah.
But whatever people consider post-punk also. But still just straight punk also. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's just great, and I really highly recommend it. Yeah, really recently, like maybe like a year or two ago, it was reissued. It's all great, and we're very political. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're saying, but all the stuff that I've read about them was like very that everything that they're singing about is like smash the the state and all that kind of stuff. So. But it's so well worth finding if you can find it, Mike.
It's been on my like wish list, and I keep going back, and it will show up at some point at Disc Union. But I kind of they really are sort of a product of their environment. I mean, it is like post punk, but it's very, very raw and more not hardcore, but very much more aggressive and angry.
Yeah. Like angry, like ferocious is good, vicious, but not like. But like accessible still too, and like you know, but yeah, really cool.
I was gonna say if it's like you say, like the Bush Tetras, like that's great. Like you sparked my interest. I mean, even Susie would a little bit, but like that's such a specific sort of thundering drumming and very specific, and yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I didn't really hear Susie at all in this album. I think maybe what I read was like their second album leaned more into that kind of sound.
I imagine they're talking about the vocals that they would say that, or they're musically for Susie.
No, I think more like the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's sort of hard to be a post-punk band from the original post-punk era and not have been influenced by Joy Division or Killing Joke or The Cure or Susie and the Banshees. It's kind of inevitable, right, that you're going to be.
Yeah. But I feel like it also feels like it's sort of like it almost like it came up in its own little bubble. Like, it feels like it could have happened even without them ever hearing any of that stuff.
You know what? That's the stuff I love when you hear like a band that sounds like other bands, but also that this group of people were just compelled to do this. There's no other way that this would have sounded. They didn't.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I mean it's kind of like the Saints. Like the Saints kind of like came up at the same time as these other bands, but they were not hearing any other bands. They can't, you know what I mean? They were like their own special product of the time.
I think that's why I
So
was sort of, maybe people were disappointed with my first pick that I showed, that sort of LP from the Philippines.
But
You
for
wanted it to
them,
sound
like,
you wanted it to sound like it came from like the Philippines, but it sounded too much like the Sex Pistols and the Ramones. You know?
but also like how much like in 1984 there probably wasn't a fucking Negative Approach 7-inch or a Minor Threat 7-inch hitting the Philippines for another like 10 years, right?
Right.
That sound to them when they got the Sex Pistols in 1984 was probably a year old.
Mind blowing for them.
I don't know why I'm sticking up for them. It probably is. It's horrible. I'm still gonna buy it, but I'm just
have to, you know, after Maximum Rock and Roll trounced them.
Well, that's the other thing. Is like Maximum Rock and Roll is like, oh, it's 1984, and that's so 77. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I've got to address a little comment here from Fascism Watch in the comments from Canada. Canadian prog. Wow. I don't have any lined up for tonight, but I'm not averse to any prog.
Hey, Fascism Watch. Maybe you should get in touch with Foster and come on the show sometime. Plop your knowledge in about prog rock from Canada. I'm not
averse to a bit of prog. Let's put it that way.
Get on here with Nate Wilson, and you guys can go. I don't know why I'm setting up a future show for you. I don't even know if actually.
So that was my pick. Like I said, they were from Brazil, and I recommend this for everyone. Check it out. You can find it on the internet type things if you can't find the record.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think. I probably got it from Starry State Records, but obviously that would be too far for you with too much shipping for you to do, Mike.
It'll show up. I have faith. There's another kind of comp too, like a different one, I think, with like a demo and a 7-inch or something as well. With, I want to say it kind of came up when I was searching around for.
There's a compilation demo 1983.
Okay, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Really awesome. Just check it out.
Yeah. All right, Paul, what's your second pick?
My second pick is so I first heard about this band in Maximum Rock and Roll. It was 1987. It was a David Hayes review saying that it was great. So I picked it up. And actually I picked up the 7-inch when I was out later, Epicenter. Probably the first time I ran into Tim Yohannan. When I found the 7-inch was the same minute. He was like, "Excuse me, step aside," kind of thing. Anyway, I got that 7-inch. Later on, the LP comes out. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, that was a good fucking impression. Anyway.
That was really good. I actually talked to him on the phone once. So.
Yeah. Right. And it's an LP that was put out by a label that put out like lots of great fucking stuff, but still doesn't get the credit. They did represses of like a Zero Boys record. They did Raw Power. They did my favorite 2 Hickoids records. The label is Toxic Shock.
Toxic Shock.
Oh yeah.
They put out like great stuff, and for some reason in this like huge like pantheon of punk rock, they don't. I feel like get the credit that label deserves for launching some of the bands.
Raw Power.
Yeah, they did the Raw Power record.
In the States.
Modern Industry, I think, was like a mod power pop punk band from SoCal. But they also put out this Jesus Chrysler record.
Wow. That's a blast from the past, that one.
Fucking great. Like, you can get it on Discogs for like $6, but also you can probably still get them sealed from Toxic Shock. So a couple reasons that I like this is it's not hardcore and it's not punk. It almost has sort of like a Jersey Jangle feel to it, the way that the like the Feelies in those bands did. But the guy's voice in particular, like I always thought, I can't get over that the Dead Milkmen are from Philadelphia, because the way that guy talks, he sounds like he's from California, right? He just especially on Big Lizard in My Backyard, all of those songs, I swear to God, they're not fucking from Philly.
You haven't been to Delaware County in PA. That is literally how everyone in Delco talks.
Maybe not, but I'm just like
strange phenomenon.
Like even today, when I look up where the Dead Milkmen are from, and I know where it is, it hits me like I'm surprised that that's where they're from. And same with these guys, like from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which I think is like the home of the atom bomb. So now 2 good things out of Tennessee.
Charles is saying
from that
not
particular
The
sure.
time.
home of the Oak Ridge Boys.
No, I don't. Well, maybe 3 good things, I guess. But the songs on this are like jangly, and they're like Big Lizard in My Backyard. Like if that record were serious in a way, they talk about Reagan on it. They talk about having like Mr. Big Bucks is a song, but everything about this record, when I got it from Toxic Shock Mail Order, I liked it from the start, and I actually even have 2 copies of it because I found one somewhere, and I was like, at some point, this is going to be worth $1 million. Which,
Mr. Big Bucks.
I'm still waiting for that ship to come to port, clearly. However,
Well,
I suggest
go.
anybody right now having a few bucks in their pocket, go get this record. Like it's a great record. From the first song is called God, but there's like a song called Some Kind of Booger. But then Systematic Shutdown is a fucking great song, start to finish. Some of my favorite rock tricks that they do, and I might talk about rock tricks later on as well, is they talk about regionally specific bands that they're friends with in a couple songs, which is great. Like now we're just hanging out with the Yard Apes, which also the Dead Milkman did. So maybe these guys should be from California because they have that same accent, and they're not. I don't know about the tunnel system these days. However, if you have time and $5, donate today to the Jesus Chrysler Foundation.
Jesus Christ.
I found the singer
Very
on Instagram.
opposite of the Satan Foundation.
Jesus Chrysler and Satan hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
You know, I feel like
Again
every
and
time
again.
I'm on this show, there's always like sort of this like juxtaposition of things like this, like the Jesus Chrysler and the Satan album, and I like it. It's just meant to be.
Magic. There's always
I
magic
just-
in the air.
And the
Sure.
Jesus Chrysler record and the Lunatics records both have pink borders.
That is right. There you go.
And look, here's another thing. If you can find a copy, you will get with it not only lyrics, but you will get your Toxic Shock mail order catalog.
Oh, can I get the Negative Approach single for like $5?
Yeah,
Probably.
they had that series Noise from Nowhere.
Look,
Like they had
Yeah,
like I think
yeah,
like
they
Sloppy
did.
Seconds was on one of them, like the
they
one
put
with the
out
Hickoids.
Destroyed by
That's what you
Sloppy
said.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destroyed record by Sloppy Seconds.
I just saw it,
great
the
record.
page you open. The Inbred. They did,
Yeah.
didn't they do the Inbred as well? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Another
did.
great records. And
Exactly.
still, man, I reached out to the singer from Jesus Chrysler recently on Instagram because I found his name and stalked him for a little while and said, hey, I'm going to talk about this record. Are there any anecdotes that you want me to mention when I'm on Why Are You Like That? And he said to me, nothing. He hasn't read my message yet. But however, when he gets back to me,
When you're on next
have an
time,
update.
report back. Tell us what you said.
I really like that.
that's
Right.
my pick.
I remember, like, John Peel was a big fan. He would play Jesus Chrysler on the regular. There you go.
Mhm.
That's another funny connection because John Peel played that your first album that you talked about, the Chaos.
The Philippines record.
Yes,
Yeah, there you go.
so it made its way to John Peel.
Beautiful. All right. Diane, what's your next pick?
I'm ready. So this is the second band that I saw at the Dark Days Bright Nights Festival. Not second in order, but this is the second band that I'm bringing up here. So this is No Man.
Oh man.
Yes. Fucking great.
They're from DC. Do you love them?
Do you love them, Paul?
I fucking know that band. They're great. Like, I don't know them, but I almost, last time I was in New Jersey, I was going to go to a show with Nate and see them, but I didn't go.
Yeah, they're fucking great. So, do you know them, Mike?
I don't, but I feel like the name sounds familiar to me.
Well, this is their third album, and it came out this year.
Okay.
They are ex Majority Rule, and they are super furious, hardcore crust. Like they,
Ooh.
female vocals. I got to see them twice actually. Actually, here's the back of the record too, because we got some good like live shot action.
Did Council Records do anything with that? Did they put
No,
it
this
out?
is on this is on Iodine Records, but I don't know what their other what label their other releases are on. Oh right, and I should show you the color.
Yes.
Oh. Any penguins involved?
Not penguin, probably. I guess you would say like violet, like like purple and green. It's very pretty.
I have an Uncle Aston the Deadbeats record that looks similar to that.
Oh, nice.
Similar color scheme.
Now I want to go.
So
it's a good record.
This
it's
is
relentless.
Great. Oh my God! It relentless is such a good word for this record.
Let's use that word again.
They're unbelievable. They're fierce.
She's got a really good voice that like manages that like.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
She's got a great voice. She's very sort of tamed and untamed. So I saw them at the club, which is called the Broadberry, and then on the festival was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So then No Man and Thou played an after show on Saturday night under a bridge, like underneath the highway in Virginia. And it was the most amazing thing because it was literally underneath, I think, like 95 underneath the highway. And
Climatized.
It was just, there was a generator there and not many lights, and it was just so fucking great. Yeah,
nice.
But it's got that sort of metallic edge to it too. Like the first thing I kind of thought was sort of like Kylesa meets Gel, but but much angrier. Like there's some real shit. I mean, the singer's there's some certainly political people happening there, and she's phenomenal. And this record is great. It's great.
Nice.
It's great. It's great. It's great.
It's relentlessly great.
It's relentless.
And thanks, Matt, for chiming in. That's why I thought it was on Council, because I think
that's nice from him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What did he say? I didn't read it. It went by too quickly.
He had a
bunch for distro.
And I got my copies from him. I just assumed that he
okay, there you go. All right.
put it out. But
there you go.
I see.
Nice. All right. Cheers.
Fucking great record. And now I want to go check out, see what colors mine are. See if mine are like spirally and green and purple, or
show us off to the show.
I probably just got black vinyl.
Never know.
Not Diane.
Very pleased with the selection. And the inside of the record is black. The black.
That's been a bit of a thing recently.
That's high quality.
Yeah. The inside sleeve is black. And I was looking to feature, and I'll just spill the beans now because I probably won't feature it then, of my Hardcore 81 record by DOA, because the inside of that record is black also.
Really? Wow.
And I asked Joey Shithead about that at some point, and he said they misprinted them or something, or they got I think there was like a Dolly Parton record, and the label silk screened over the inside and used the cardboard, so it wasn't really something else. So I thought that was my sort of my concept, to bring in two records that had black inner jackets. And then
are you a little bit though want to pull that out and like a fucking 7-Eleven scratch off, just reach in there just to see if Dolly's eyes appear or something?
That's one of my favorite records.
I would just be curious to like, do I have a Dolly Parton DOA record?
I don't trust you, Paul.
I get you.
Nice. Let me just address a couple of these comments. So, yeah. Third World Chaos 7-inch bootleg from 95. There you go. Cheers for that. That's interesting. And then
Oh,
we've got a little query about capital punishment. And yes, I did show the first capital punishment when push comes to shove. Great band. Classic. Good to see that mentioned in the comments. There you go.
Somewhere I have something. I could sneak in another record, right? Oh, maybe
What are you
it's
looking for? Capital punishment.
Oh, no. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh boy, look at that!
Oh, I'm still terrible at this though.
You asked for capital punishment.
There it is.
You
Sneaking it in. Look at us. We're such dorks. I love us.
There's literally nothing that we can't do on this show. Wow.
Can't juggle.
Oh,
wow. Can't juggle. Yes.
I can't juggle balloons.
There you are.
I'm like,
wow. I do think that first one is the best one though. Like when push comes to shove, they're all good though.
Like choking myself.
It is, but you keep trying. Like, you know how many Figs records I have, and I love the band The Figs. I keep buying the records, but I keep hoping for another Lo-Fi Society high.
Right.
That's tough. That would be tough to come by, huh?
Yeah. So going back to Iron Maiden again.
All right, here comes my free record.
This is there's a story here. I went to see Iron Maiden, as I've mentioned twice already, in Osaka, and I met some friends from Finland at the show. Met some friends from Finland at the show. It was a joy to see them, and I hadn't seen Iron Maiden since 1982, and they've seen them 10 times on this tour, and they said Iron Maiden that show was the best. Anyway, the point about this, my next pick is they gave me something, and it's Joanna and Otto, who are in this band. Otto used to be the drummer of Selfish, Finnish hardcore band, and used to be the drummer of Forca Macabre as well, who are sort of a Finnish band that were sort of doing like early Brazilian like crossover thrash very well. Anyway, his wife Joanna had another band called Katarina. Now they're in a band together, Finnish band. So it's three girls and Otto. That's not the name of the band. I kind of wish it was. Much easier to pronounce than the actual band name. But anyway, they sort of gave me their tape that had just come out, which is a tape of like 2 of their EPs put on a tape. And I'm going to attempt my first listen and wear. And I don't know how it's going to go. But I'm gonna
oh my god! I hope you have
a piece of clothing.
My first and the last original. Listen and wear. Let's have a look at what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this band. It's a tape, so it's tiny. Kovaa. This came out on a Greek label, Terminal. But yeah, like I said, it's their 2 12-inches on a tape. Now, the names of the 2 12-inches are Tasaluvulla, Tulevaisuuteen, and Pahan, Vaimon, Käsikirja. There you go.
Awesome.
You can get them as standalone 12 inches, or you can get this little yellow tape, which has both of them on.
As far as I'm concerned, those are great pronunciations of those words.
It wasn't bad. It was much better than I was expecting it to be.
Now put the shirt on.
Not that you're the judge of Finnish pronunciation, but thanks. Yeah, tape. What are we talking about? It's Finnish hardcore.
Wait, where's the wear?
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
Come on. I don't have a costume change this week, which I know is hard to believe, so somebody needed to.
Well, this came out, the tape came out in 2022. And so when you got the tape, it was accompanied by something that people were wearing around those days.
Oh, in 2022.
Nice.
It counts as a wear.
That works.
What does that mean?
I don't know. But I have actually terrifying story about this band name, and I actually asked Otto and Joanna about it because it was freaking me out, and they didn't actually tell me what the band name meant. Okay, so this is what happened. I often go on Disc Union, which is like an online, well, it's a chain store, and they have an online store. And I was like, well, I've got the tape. I'd like to get the original 12 inches as well. So I went onto Disc Union and typed in the name of the band, Kovaa Rasvaa. Beep, 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 beep. You like illegal activity, blah, blah, blah. You are banned from this site, blah, blah, blah. I should have showed the screenshot because I was like, what the hell is going on? So I was like, hang on a minute. So I shut that window down, went back and typed in another band, like King Crimson or something. No problem. Let's like type in another band. No problem. Let's type in this band again. Illegal activity. Well, like, but you're banned from this like website. And I have no idea why. It's very weird. The name of this band set off some sort of security system.
Wait, that's the end of the story?
That's it.
You never followed up?
Followed up.
Look, I'm from America. I watch SVU. I watch detective shows to find things to the end. You're just like,
oh, maybe it's a cliffhanger. Maybe it's a cliffhanger.
I'm calling Homeland Security. This is
like, yeah, I mean, does this like mean something that maybe is someone out there using the name of this band as some sort of password?
This means something.
It means something.
Clearly,
it means something. Well, I was like, God, I'm banned from my favorite website for like searching for this Finnish hardcore band.
Well, I just looked up what those words mean, and it says it means hard work.
Hard work.
a little anti-climax.
What's wrong with a bit of hard work? Yeah.
I was hoping for so much more.
I should have like made something else.
That's a pretty good story. Pretty good story. You know, that's all I got.
Oh,
but I can tell you that this is a great like Finnish hardcore band in the which it might sound a little bit like Koti Tuhoa, which are another sort of current. They've got this sort of like dirty sort of metal sort of underbelly to them, which there's a sort of little bit of crossover thrash, because I know that Joanna is a metal gal because she went to see Iron Maiden 25 times on this tour. But there's another good thing about this band, like, because they're on like Svart Records. Like Svart is like a slightly big sort of independent label from Finland that does like free jazz, and they did like Killing Joke and Turby Cadet, and they do a lot of things. So like they do a lot of promo videos for like their like 1 minute and 25-second songs, like promo videos with not high production values, but sort of like these promo videos for like songs off their records. So you can go on YouTube and like watch all these sort of like interesting videos of Kovaa, Rasvaa. I thought that's pretty cool. Not many sort of hardcore bands of sort of this level have like all these like promo videos. Pretty. I mean,
cool. If I'm being honest, there's no way I'm typing that into my search.
Well, I think it'll be okay. I mean, someone just did it right now, and in the chat, nothing happened.
I just looked it up.
As far as you know, they just got flagged.
Well, now
you're not allowed to vote anymore.
Sort of watch list. No, I think it was just like it's something to do with Disc Union. They didn't like hard work. I don't know.
Oh, type in the words opposite, like work hard, and maybe.
I'm going to try it again actually, just to see what happens, because it was kind of freaky. But anyway, great band. They've got some other records out and stuff. If you like Finnish hardcore with sort of a dirty sort of crossover underbelly, check out Hard Work, Kovaa Rasvaa. And Jeff, been a while. Jeff is a big fan. Jeff from
I just want to say that I'm terrified that I could type something into like a record search engine and potentially be kicked off that. Like that's like all the other things that could happen, like be flagged for a million fucking other things, like a UFO sympathizer or whatever.
Right, like all the others.
But getting on a record site, being like, you can't buy records anymore. I'm like, oh my God, where's the next rigs? How long is this rope?
Like of all the records, like that I've searched for, that one was the one that, like, banned. Like, it's
and a fucking tape
and a tape from Greece. So, wow, look at that. There you go.
Oh, co-owners of Smart.
There you go.
Smart is a great.
Wow, there you go. Okay. Good info. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, so maybe that's it. Like, Disc Union wants their record collection, so they're like, "Hey, this guy might know them."
We'll get to the bottom of this. Stay tuned. We'll find out next week how this story ends. All right, Anne, what's your next pick?
All right, my next pick. This is a little different for me. I'm stretching. I think you're gonna like this one. And I have to say, I usually have at least one Egg Punk record. I have no Egg Punk this week. It is very strange. Anyway, this is the one I most was excited about bringing to the show because it's so different for me. It is.
Oh, what's going on?
All right, all right, okay. I'm sorry I suck at this part. It's this bit. All right, here we go. Get that light out of there. Okay, it's close enough. It's 4 bands. Fake Fun, Dirty Ass, Hang, and you cannot see Squealing Nipples where my hands are. Squealing Nipples, and there's the front, and there's the back. Why? Oh, this is the problem. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, that's the back of the record. All right, let me show you the front again. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, so yes, this is very different for me. So this this was like a random thing that I was like looking at something, and then I saw Dirty Ass and I was like, what is that? And then I thought it was only on like a digital thing, but then I saw it was like, order here from Fucking Trash Records. That's the name of the record label. Fucking Trash Records in the Netherlands. And my friend lives in the Netherlands who sends records to me all the time for like my website that I sell his records. So I was like, okay, hey, my friend, if I order this record from Fucking Trash Records and have them send it to you, can you throw it in the box with the next batch of records you're going to send me? And it's going to save me postage. And that was like in March. And then like in July, I was like, hey, did that record ever show up? And he's like, no, that never showed up. I don't even know. And then we like did 100,000 messagings and no one answered us. And I finally like got to them on Instagram and they were like, oh yeah, it came back to us. We don't really know why. And I was like, I want my record. I need that record. That's the record I'm going to talk about next time I'm on the show. And they were like, oh, we'll resend it. But then I had to pay for shipping again. And they sent it to my friend. It finally got to my friend. And then my friend finally got it to me like 7,000 months later. So I'm going to put it over here. So
worth it.
Yes. Oh, yes. So what can I tell you about these 4 bands? So number 1, 2 of the bands are from Russia. Although on their Bandcamp page, it says they were from St. Petersburg pre-war, but now split up all over the globe because of Russian imperial invasion. Fuck war. That's what it says.
Right.
So now who knows where they are? Not in St. Petersburg anymore. So, and then the other 2 bands are from Indonesia. So I was like really excited to get this because like we're getting all kinds of stuff. Yes, Paul, you may speak.
Clear. Is Squealing Nipples or Fake Fun? Which ones are the Russian bands and which ones are the Indonesian?
Okay, so Fake Fun and Squealing Nipples are from Russia.
Got you. Okay.
Dirty Ass and Hang are from Indonesia.
Oh wow!
And I would think that Dirty Ass gets thrown in jail just for that name in Indonesia.
And the interesting thing is, so the 3 of the 4 are basically like hardcore, killed by death, like cool hardcore punk, great, like all just like good, not like it's not generic. It's like and they have like just kind of special like in their own like sound. But Dirty Ass are like a garage keyboard like budget rock band. Yeah. Like so it's like they're completely different. Like I'm like okay, that's fine. The Fake Fun, they call themselves hardcore punk mixed with rock solos. That's what they say on their little website. So this came out, like I said, Fucking Trash Records, 2023. It was released. And if you want to order through the Netherlands and hope that maybe you'll get your record, it is still available on their website. And it's just really cool, fun, different. Like I said, I'm not like, I don't listen to like tons of hardcore like now at this point in my life, but I have listened to lots of it over my lifetime, and I just really like it, and I was really happy that I was able to like get it here into my life, and support support these folks who are like against war and all that kind of stuff. So yes,
Question from the audience, from the panel.
Yes.
How did you find it? It's not in your genre. It's not like in the stuff that you usually go for. Like, were you just like, hey, I like fake fun, or like, what made you?
I like squealing nipples. I mean, who doesn't?
Nobody.
I'm trying on me right now. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of the road that led me to these bands, and I honestly really can't remember. I have no idea how I landed here. Maybe the record label, Fucking Trash Records. Somehow I saw something about them, or I might have seen it listed on like some other like distro website that I like to look at, and I was like, that's kind of cool, and I want to support that, and let me check it out. And then since the record label was in the Netherlands, I was like, well, let me get my buddy to help me out with saving the shipping, but then I had to pay shipping again anyway. So anyway, it was worth it, and it's really cool.
It does have a sort of very early 2000s like DIY punk compilation look.
Yeah. It felt like kind of old school, but it's like, it's just, and the bands are like different enough that it's not just like you're like, which, like, oh that's a new, like, you sometimes you might be like, oh, was that all the same band? That you can definitely tell like when the next band is
Right.
playing, next song, and yeah, it's pretty neat.
Nice. I've been to St. Petersburg, and it's beautiful.
That's cool. It seems like too, I also sort of started going down into the rabbit hole of like Indonesia punk. And I mean, I couldn't really find too much that's like actually like physical releases, but there were a lot, like on Bandcamp, there was lots of other bands that are part of the scene and they recommended, and they were all really good.
Was it just like a bunch of 77 crap? Because now
yeah, Buddy Holly and the Crickets, Count the Lights.
Yeah, so like, maybe go down the Indonesian punk rabbit hole and you'll find some good stuff.
Well, there's so much, isn't there, out there, like, to go down. There's a lot of holes to go down out there.
Yeah, a lot of holes to go down, and I'm the one to go down them.
Question?
Well, I love and hate the internet, right?
All right. Mr. Bayer, what's your
Okay, so early 80s, like, fucking great for music.
Yep.
Hardcore punk, people doing shit in their bedrooms, and there's being from Michigan, there's a lot of stuff. The Fix, the Meatmen, Negative Approach, the Latin Dogs, Violent Apathy, like the list goes on and on and on. There's also this whole other weird thing that was happening in Michigan at the time, adjacent to hardcore, which is like folks with like keyboards. So what I want to talk about is the band Art Interface.
Oh.
Art Interface, their first cassette started coming out in 82, 83. Minimal synth. Like, and then just they were from Lansing, same Fix, Meatman, all that same shit. And I'm a fan of New Order. I'm a fan of minimal synth. And the fact that this was like coming out of Michigan at the time is crazy. The records, like, they're not valuable, but they're hard to find. However, there is a box set of 11 LPs of minimal synth stuff that if you want,
Wow.
Right now, you can get it on Discogs for like $500. I'm gonna save the viewing audience a lot of money. This
Need to
thing
sign
I found
up
for
right now.
$20.
Oh,
This is the art interface box set. This is still available like at like Forced Exposure and some other places. And it's like $30-$40. I think I got this for around that. It was like in a closeout bin. And I was grateful to see it. Like there's songs like Secretaries from Heaven, and it's very minimal synth. Like early some of those early like Human League, early like Depeche Mode kind of stuff. If you like minimal synth, this box set is very special to me.
Paul,
I'll tell you why.
Is it like textures or is it song based?
Song based and textures, but
Both. Okay.
it's very simple in the styles of like that Human League, Depeche Mode, New Order, in that sense of thing. Like they're great melodic songs. Found this record. Secretaries from Heaven is like a fucking great song. If you get this box, it comes with a huge booklet and a t-shirt. And the t-shirt's my size.
Listen and wear, Paul.
Listen where.
I'm not gonna. It's still new. It's Fruit of the Loom. It's Fruit of the fucking Loom. Like at the time when it came out in 2015 or whatever, sparing no expense. You want? This is like 7,000 count thread count cotton t-shirt, and
Heavy
although I
cotton.
already have, whoever put this out. Like I imagine it's this dude, Glenn, in like Menor, Ohio, and tomorrow is like their trash day for their municipality, and his wife Shelda's yelling at him, put those fucking box sets out to the curb, and he's like, Shelda, Paige, go back inside and drink your Sun Country wine cooler 2 liters with your sister, because right now on Why Are They Like That, they're about to talk about my record, and I'm going to sell at least a box set to somebody. So there's
Maybe me
in here, and this is like like I had this a long time ago, but the boxes all can't come out because probably back when it was like, hey, it costs like $300 to do like 107 inches, but we can do 1,000 for like $400. So they probably did thousands of these things, so they all come with like a free like original record from when it came out.
Nice.
I love this so much. I love the fact that these kids are sitting in Lansing, just making tweaky little sounds on their keyboards. And you're looking it up right now, aren't you?
I have 2 screens.
Yeah, am I wrong? It's like 30,
Actually
40.
3, but
So like
actually it is now $68 for the box
can probably
set.
find
Look,
it.
this is the weight of why are you like that?
Okay.
Listen,
There's a
just
$32 2 LP set of theirs, but
That's
the
what
one
this
you're
is.
holding is
That's what that is.
it has a different cover though.
well, mine has
This
a T-shirt,
oh,
so maybe this is
Mine has the t-shirt.
okay. You might it might just have a different cover for $32 without the T-shirt.
if you don't want a T-shirt, because the T-shirts might be like at this point, like Glenn is sitting in this like, what am I gonna do with all these like XXX T-shirts? Like, sell them with a white belt, they're night shirts, or like I don't know, prom attire this era. I don't know, but
Rachel is looking that up right now too.
yeah, it's fucking good. It's amazing how good this is, and the sound is clean. Actually, the original 7 inches and the LP, which came out in like '84 or some shit like that, it's very clean sounding. It's not muddy and weird. Like the people in this, it's probably just Glenn in Menor, Ohio. I don't know why I'm choosing Menor, Ohio, other than I know that President Garfield is also from there. So I don't know why I'm talking about President Garfield either. But I think that if somebody's got $30 right now, go on Forced Exposure, go on a distro, find, if you are somebody in Menor, Ohio, find somebody who might go in every single garage tonight and find these boxes before they're put out for their village municipality neighborhood cleanup tomorrow and take them,
Save them.
and put them again. Like at some point, my ship will come in. This it will come to port, and this will be another $1 million thing.
With the Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
I don't want to wear the shirt and devalue this box set. Clearly, right now it's worth nearly $70.
So wait, I have to. Can I sidebar? Is that okay? So I did. So all right. So Paul probably doesn't know because we are only newly acquainted. But I for like 2 years I did this thing called Listen Wear, where I wore a shirt of a band and held up one of their records or whatever for like 1,000 days in a row or something. So anyway, the point of this is to tell you that my friends had a box set that had a t-shirt in it that went with one of my records. So I was like, okay, I want to have the exact same t-shirt as the record. And though I have many t-shirts, it was Ramones. I did like 50 days of Ramones. I was like, can I just use that t-shirt from the box set to go with this particular record this day? And they're like, sure, of course, because my best friends, Tony and Ron. So they let me the box set, and I like take the t-shirt out, and I put it on, and it literally went like and like not just ripped, but literally disintegrated in my hands as I like put it over my head, and like my hands went through it, and the whole thing just turned to dust. And I was like, because they had this box set for like 25 years or 30 years or whatever, and I just ruined the shirt. I put my hands into it and I ripped it. And I mean, every single thing I did to try to then take it off or to fix the problem made it worse.
Well, so you're all covered in
like
Ramones.
The end of that one Avengers movies where everybody's turning to dust. That was the shirt.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's exactly why this shirt still has the creases in it.
Don't put that shirt on. Don't do it. My cautionary tale to you. Although that other shirt was not a 10,000 heavy cotton thread count like yours is, but
Yeah, this one will stop bullets, and I appreciate the heart that went into it. And I'm not going to put the shirt on, and it's my size too. Rarely do I find a shirt in a box that's. Okay.
Shirt in a box.
I found a lot. I've got a lot of boxed shirts randomly that come to my door. I got like Joe Camel.
Maybe for your birthday and Christmas, you get shirts and boxes.
Can't wait. I can't wait to see you in November. It's going to be so much fun. And by the way, when this thing goes off, Diane, I want to tell you about my a local fetus story. Like not scraping fetus off the wheel. Clint Ruin story. Not. I didn't just find a fetus. Like, anyway.
I was wondering. I hope you put it in a jar.
Fetus in a box.
Moving on. $30. Find Glenn. Get this minimal synth double LP. It's got everything. It's got the good demos. Don't spend $400. I don't know. Like 11 records of minimal synth sounds. Whoever put that together, I don't. Bless his heart, but I don't know.
All hearts.
Like who's gonna like 11 records, and I'm gonna charge $500? I mean, if you just look at the cover of that record, that's the $500 11 LP set. You're like, I know what all of these sound like, and I know what all of their like. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right,
Diane, your turn.
Diane, yeah. Diane, what?
It's my turn.
What's your thing?
I'm going to 1992 for something that you probably all know, and that's fine.
Oh, classic
pitch shifter. This is before they. How can I? Okay, pitch shifter.
There we go.
I think it's a dust mite. I'm not sure. I think it is, yeah. So this is 1992. It's Mosh number 66. This is they already had. This is not their first record, but it's like maybe the second EP and the third thing they put out before they really got into their drum and bass and sort of mixing it up and dancing it up. And I have to say, I love Pitch Shifter from the beginning all the way through. Like I absolutely love all their records, and I love their remixes and just they have such a great sensibility of like percussion. Although the guitar sound, that's sort of the whiny, whistly, like that kind of thing, is already there. But this is like straight up industrial styly. Like it's not. It doesn't have the the dance moves haven't started yet. The next LP after this was desensitized, and I'm pretty sure that then there's some openings to that world. But it's this record could put somebody in a concussion.
It's very heavy. In a sort of that.
I know, I'm struggling with it here.
Put it down. Put it down.
Oh, thank God. But yeah.
I mean, like the Lunatics, they're one of those bands that's been like out of my atmosphere. And I think like when all of my friends were really into them, I was like,
I don't know anybody who was into them. I had them on my show.
They were sort of always in the shadow of like Godflesh, but in the UK, it was like they were always in like the shadow of
Godflesh. And this is more Godfleshy for sure. This has definitely got that like,
So my early experience with all this stuff is like Southwest Michigan. It's always gray skies. Godflesh, the Cloud, the Cows, like AMREP, all that like crazy stuff. Like some of my best friends are still really into like Front 242 and all like some of that industrial type stuff. But this is one of those bands I've always wanted to get into, but I have this oppositional defiance disorder fucking thing where if everybody likes it, then I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna go like the Dave Clark 5 just to spite you or whatever. So is that the record to get into? Because I'm trying to like open myself up a little bit. Okay.
It's very much of its time.
Yeah, and it's not really where they ended up, and the majority of their records.
Let me caveat this too. Like I did buy 2 Fetus records from you, 3 Fetus records from you. Okay. So I'm not new to like the weird shit. So knowing that and remembering that still you're saying no to that?
No.
They're more on like the Ministry edge. Like Fetus is more Broadway. Like
fair.
Fetus has like performance, like is all about performance, but that like mindfuck music and performance. But these guys are more. I would say that they're more sort of on the like Ministry Godflesh, but and they do the drum and bass thing well. Like they mix it all in there very well. Like I mean their progression to me is just great. I love their freaking like their remix EP. Do you have a CD player, Paul? I may. What are you
following?
I'm sorry. So he's like, now we're miming the rest of the show. I think I have 2 copies of the Remix War. If I do, I'll give you one.
I'll see you in November.
Yeah. No, they're just one of those niche bands. I don't know that many people that like them, but I don't know many people that really dislike them.
They were sort of quite big at the time in England.
I saw them on Ozfest here. They were on a second stage on Ozfest. And I brought them up to the radio station, and the bus was parked right in front of FMU. Pretty great.
What's the name of the singer? Do you remember?
J.S. Clayton.
He's a very nice guy. I know he's a very nice guy because I once went to Nottingham and stayed with Calvin Piper from In Your Face Records, who was the bass player in Heresy. And he was like, let's go to the pub with my mate. And the mate was J.S. Clayton. So it was me, him, and we had a very drunken night out. And
his brother Mark is the bass player.
Right.
And then at some point, what's his name? Jim, I'm not going to remember his last name, from Prodigy was in the band. Mm-hmm. So they had that kind of, they were heading in a direction, but I just always liked their stuff, and they went really sort of video manipulation at some point with the www. One of their records is called www.pitchshifter.com.
It is, yeah.
Actually, they did it, but
It was like very like cutting edge at the time, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was really kind of. It was like it reminded me of like the Pill record, cassette, like and all that kind of thing. Just sort of, whoa, look at what you sheep are listening to. But I do. I love Pitch Shifter, and I didn't forget about this record, but I was just going through things.
Those early records are great. They're the early ones are my personal favorites. But yeah.
Awesome.
Where did you say they're from?
Nottingham, England.
Nottingham.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Right. They're another one of those bands that I always misplaced geographically. For some reason, I felt like they were from Knoxville.
The home of Robin Hood.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
If you remember him. I don't know. I'm gonna do something cheeky. I'm gonna show a bonus pick. May I? Can I? Yes, you can. Michigan.
Yes, you can.
Wait. Can we guess?
You
what
make
it
the
is?
rules.
You can guess. You probably won't get it right because we are talking about Michigan. I have a record that's just come out of Michigan. And the title of the record is called Michigan Traditional Music. I've just given it away. I've just told you what it is. But it's like,
yeah, but
guess what it is. Guess what it is.
Is have I been on the show with this person before?
I think you have. Yeah.
Do we share a lot of the same friends?
You think you do? You might do.
Did he show a double LP of cassettes from inner city Detroit?
Yes, he did.
Okay. It's a fucking good record.
Dr. Pete Larson's and his cytotoxic Neatiti band. Michigan traditional music, but it's actually traditional Kenyan music. There you go. That's my bonus pick.
Fucking good record.
Bonus.
Yeah.
I will say this. Similar to something that Anne said, I have a very narrow view of music. Not view, but just like I know what I like, but I have friends that do fucking crazy things. So I like to support my friends because love and family is always what's gonna help you bury your records with you, and not let the vultures come in at the end. So when the people come in with the bulldozers, all those folks are gonna bury all the shit with me. Anyway, got that record because I love that guy, love that music.
It's great.
It opened my mind up to like thinking about things differently. Although I fucking hate jazz, still always will. Why? Because the sound. Anyway, go ahead. What's your pick?
Thank you, sir. I just because you were talking about Michigan, I just had to quickly show that. Okay, so if up to about 6 weeks ago, a month ago, if someone had sort of tapped me on the shoulder in the street and said, "Excuse me, sir, what's your favorite German all-girl band from the early 80s?" I could have answered it very easily. What would my answer have been, do you think?
I just, how often does that happen? But
never. It's just it's a hypothetical situation. But if it were to happen, my answer would have been. My answer would have been. Can you guess what my answer would have been? All girl.
No.
German band, early 80s. It would have been X-Mel.
Wow.
That would have been my answer. And you know what? It probably still will be my answer.
He's doing the thing! He's doing the thing!
But now we have...
Not your pick. That's not your pick.
Not my pick, no. But so we have a contender now. On the day that someone taps me on the shoulder and asks me, what's your favorite all-girl German band from the early 80s? There's a contender, which is new to me. And this band, they've been kind of blowing me away about how amazing they are. And I've got a few of their records. Yes, there you go. Rachel got it. There you go. Malaria.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, Malaria. Let's get Malaria. So,
wait, to be clear, like a few weeks ago, if somebody would have tapped you on the shoulder and asked you this question,
I would have said...
Now you've got multiple records by this band because you were
Free. I'm not messing about. I'm serious.
I read it.
I'm a
I
professional.
fucking love this.
I'm gonna like. So there's the album Emotion. This is like the Belgian version. There's a picture of the back of the band, which apparently has a slightly different mix to the German version, but I haven't compared them yet. You know, I'm kind of a newcomer to this band, and then you've got this 12-inch EP.
I remember that one. Yeah.
So if you want to check out this band for the first time, this is the song to check out. It's called "Your Turn to Run, I Will Be Your Only One" by Malaria. Check out that song on YouTube. It's incredible. But the record I want to sort of show and recommend, because it's probably the easiest one to get, is this sort of like recent discography thing, double LP. So this is the one that you sort of want to get if you're new to the band, and it's probably the easiest one to get. It's got the Emotion record, and it's kind of got all the singles and stuff on it in a nice double LP like that. Look at that, Malaria.
What does it sound?
Oh, do I have to say?
Oh wait, Diane's got a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Is there a record, like, are you keeping track statistically of how many records are shown per, what, I forget the name of your name. What do you, WAY?
Your own name for it. That's why you forgot.
I know the name, but I can't remember. I like Paul's name, but I forgot it.
What are you listening to?
What are you listening to?
WAYLT. What are you listening
No, I know that. But what's your name? Paul, what do you say? Call it.
What, my name? It's literally written.
No, the WAYLT.
Oh, why are you like that?
What are you listening to?
Why are you like that? Do you have statistics on how many discs you've shown during an episode of this? Because this might be a contender. You're pulling out 3 or 4 records.
Yeah, it's all about the build-up, the sort of setting the scene.
Yes, and then like the capital punishment thing before. I mean, Anne and Paul.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yes. 10 records.
Now I'm with you. Now I know what you're saying. Now
I'm just wondering, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it could be. Let us know in the comments.
This could
be called the exposure episode.
Yes.
Look, I'm not competitive about a lot of things, but I don't know if I want to be competitive about exposure either, as Diane suggested. However,
something else.
I think I've been asked to.
I keep on thinking now it's called "What are you looking at?"
What are you looking at? I have been asked by Paul to sort of describe what this band sounds like. They don't sound like X-Mal Deutschland. There's like not really any of that like Susie and the Banshees influence. They are very stark and minimalistic, but at the same time, there's a lot more depth to the music, I think, than like X-Mal Deutschland. There's like more synths, but lots of like sounds like in the mix with like, maybe some experimentation. Paul.
Do they sing in English or German?
Mostly German. There's a few songs in English. Okay. Mostly German.
Yeah, I had a tape like 100 million years ago. They had a tape on Roar.
That was in my notes. I was going to say that they did. They had a tape on Roar.
Yes. Like, I remember always seeing like the name, in those early days when it's like, you're looking at like the Roar list, and it's like, Malaria exclamation point. The exclamation point also was like, ooh, okay, I want to get that. Maybe kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to compare them to either.
It is post-punk, but it's like first wave post-punk. It's like 1981, but there's like experimentation going on, and like there's saxophone too sometimes, but don't be scared. It's nice.
Maybe like Au Pairs is kind of like a
in
that same world, but not the same.
It's very cold and stark and atmospheric, and
Okay, a lot of those can go like in a lot of different directions. But
good songs.
You guys are saying the right words that are making me interested.
But not in the right order.
No. Well, when I combined your sentences together, it makes it the perfect idea.
But good songs though, even though it's like a little bit experimental, and there's some like lots of stuff going on in the mix. Good songs. I think I don't know how sort of well known this band is. They're definitely not as well known as XML Deutschland. But well, that's what I think. I don't know if they actually are. But yeah, this is the one to try and get. This is the Full Emotion double LP, the collection. This is the one that's probably easiest to get.
So let me ask you this too. Prior to that, your first all-female 80s punk band, XML Deutschland.
XML Deutschland, yeah.
Okay, are they all in German, or are there some songs in English also?
I don't have all their records, but yeah, all the early records are in German. The one I showed was just like it's a singles collection that came out this year.
Was that also post-punky?
Yes, but more like Susie and the Banshees sounding than Malaria.
I want to know why Rachel is ugging on the note.
Maybe my comments. The description was terrible. I know.
No, I think that's fair. Like, there's a lot of post-punk that is like, hey, oh god, there's like this fucking wave of like emo bands that was just like in the 90s. It was like, I'm gonna bring a trumpet into a basement. I was like, that's a fucking bad idea. Like, there's like all this fucking shit going on, right? Like, is it post-punk with like, hey, I got a dog that will like fart and a Casio computer. Can I bring my saxophonist in? Or is it like they planned things? Did they construct songs? Or
but the thing now is like post-punk is applied to like anything, like from like Simple Minds to Mercenarious, and everything is like post-punk, you know. And then also
unless you're in Maximum Rock and Roll in 1984, because then it's just boring.
Yes. Anyway, get Malaria. That's not a threat. It's Are
you saying that like life's goal, Everest, malaria, cancer? Like these are the things I have got to do. Foster told me.
But it's got to be with an exclamation mark, though. Otherwise,
I'm into it. I like that stuff. I like that disjointed stuff.
This is like I'm late to the game. I'm like decades late to the game with this band, but I've been listening to this a lot last few.
I went to a weird record store today, and there's an early Cherry Red record from, I don't know. The song is like the band is either Pigs in Something or it's something with pigs, but it was post-punky, saxophone, disjointed, rhythmic. Fucking loved it. I didn't buy it because actually, well, I didn't buy it for a couple of reasons. But anyway,
didn't have any money.
No, I had the money.
Banned from the store.
No, this strange woman kept coming up to me, like asking me if like I ran the store. I'm like, no, I don't. That's those people. Like, hey, do you run the store? I'm like, no, it's those people. I'm like, stop touching me. Like, fucking stop touching. We gotta go.
All right.
And it was hey, by the way, this is a town of like 2,000 people that also has a drawbridge. So even if I wanted to outrun her, I gotta fucking like swim across the river. There's no way around this. Anyway, and let's see what's next.
I'm sorry, I'm having like a sneeze attack. So I was like trying to go like off camera to like sneeze in the corner.
You want to buy some time? I'll talk more about the crazy person that tried to accost me.
It's okay. I think I'm okay now.
I forgot to ask if there's a way to mute because I've been having coughing fits and I've just been coughing in your faces. So, and now I see there's a mute button right in front of me.
Oh man, I think I just got virtual COVID from you.
You should be wearing your Kovaa Rasvaa mask, Paul. You wouldn't be in this.
There you go.
Are you kidding me? Wait, if she put that mask on, this video again would be blocked out. Like,
but you won't get malaria.
All right, Anne, what's your next pick?
Okay, all right. I'm excited about this pick.
Nice.
I'm not sure I'm not sure how to talk about it, but I'm very excited about it. Let's see if I can get this. Okay. Let's get this. Like Two Hearts Rock and Roll 2020. Okay, so this band is from Japan.
My country.
I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. Fukuoka.
Fukuoka?
Yes, Fukuoka, Japan. And it's a two-piece band, Kimiko Howland and Mad Daddy Shu. And it's so Shu is from a band. Actually, are they both from this other band? Shu is from they're both from a band called Titty Twister.
I know Titty Twister.
Ever heard of Titty Twister?
I know Titty
So
Twister.
look, I got squealing nipples and Titty Twister today, and dirty ass. I mean, it's just a whole theme with me today.
Wait, however,
so
do you know Titty Twister?
I know the band. I've seen them live once, I think. So, garage punk band.
Yeah, so this is on Tar Beach Records, which is from Astoria, current record label. Yay for Astoria, current record label. And they're a current band. And in fact, I just saw on Shu's Facebook page that they were having a rehearsal like yesterday. So they are active. And it's a really interesting looking cover. Okay. So this is like basically like one of those bands that's like loves like American rock and roll and loves the Ramones and love is like garagey, but like is like bebopping and sock hopping and translating it into through their view. And it's just fun and it's delightful and it's like fuzzy and upbeat and dancey and punky and rock and roll and cute and that's pretty much like everything I can say about it. And like bubblegum, yes.
Are they called Two Hearts or are they called Two Hearts Rock and Roll 2020?
They're called Two Hearts. That's the name of the album, but the album was released in 2020. So Rock and Roll 2020. The title is also the year of the release.
Like Japan.
And yeah, so they are still active and like garage rock and roll, like I said, bubblegum, Ramones, Ronettes, Go-Go's, Buddy Holly, all translated by a duo from Japan.
The core members of Titty Twister.
Titty Twister, yeah. It looks like Titty Twister has more than two. That looks like that's a four-piece band. Yeah. So these are like two of the members.
Is Titty Twister still a current band?
It seems like so, yes. Paul, you didn't raise your hand, so I didn't call on you. So let's start over. Okay, you may begin.
It's just the two of them? They're like drums, guitar, drums, bass?
Yes, yes. It says that Kimiko is singing and playing guitar, and Shu is playing drums, guitars, and bass, and sings.
Okay. All right.
And they also do some songs, like Judy is a Punk and Jailhouse Rock, as well as many of their own original songs. And they love New York. They're like super New York fans. So it's just kind of like a very New York kind of album.
Like Mets or Yankees? Like.
No comment from the girl who lives near Philadelphia. From a person who lives in a house with a very big Philly fan.
Ouch, sorry.
That sounds kind of like right up my alley. Does it have
Japan is a hotbed of whatever that music is. There's so many.
Super. Like do you know the band Mama Guitar?
Yeah, there's so many. Like
it fits into that, Yeah. Paul, sorry, you didn't raise your hand again, so Mike interrupted you. What were you saying?
Either.
Nothing.
Japan, I guess he doesn't think he has to because he's
I'm exempt. Yeah, Japan has Japan has so many good like garage and rock and roll bands.
Yes,
And they like to sort of,
yes.
they don't care that they'll throw everything into they're not
It's always good. And there's another thing I love is there's always like a good like dress, like the outfit. There's like a real dedication to the style and the shoes and the dress, the skirt. The 50s poodle skirt.
I mean, Osaka, like Time Bomb Records in Osaka was a real.
Okay, all right. He's raising his hand.
I mean, that's clearly like a Bonnie and Clyde setup with like.
Totally, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Fucking love it.
Yeah. And you can get this Tar Beach Records out of Astoria, putting out some good stuff. So check them out.
Nice.
Available stateside. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, okay, so here's the question. Can Mike get it too, like locally? Easily?
Well,
I mean, they live there. They're there now.
I'm sort of halfway between Fukuoka and New York. But that's definitely a record that, like Time Bomb, I don't think that Time Bomb kind of specializes in this, like, the rock and roll and the garage stuff. So probably Time Bomb would have it. All right, Paul. Number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
Number 4.
We talked a little bit earlier about how like you discover a band of friends that you support them and they get you into different music and different things. So this is my like my foster pick of just flying through. This is a brief little onesie. This is a flash of what I'm leading up to.
Okay, the build up.
The Kalamazoo Drone Society. I never would have gotten this. I never would have thought about drone music. I would have never ever would have thought about how was brought up earlier about like layers of sound built on sound. So at first depth, it is like one thing, and then as you get into it, like, is that a fucking theremin? Is that my grandma's telephone? And like as you get into it, like it has like weird things like going on. Like it's a 2-song 15-minute record. I never would have gotten this if it wasn't for me living in Greenpoint, traveling to fucking Paramus, New Jersey. I worked at a publicist for a while who had the like push records for the World Inferno Friendship Society and Gern Blanton and all that fucking bullshit. Actually got to talk to Jan Wormer, which was fucking, is that his name? The Rolling Stones guy, whatever his name is. Talked to him for a little bit about World Inferno and talked to him for about some fucking crazy kids. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to talk about the band The Dalek for a minute. Like Will and Alop Moment, Will Brooks, sorry, pen names, Octopus, and Dalek did some fucking crazy things. And their first 12-inch EP that they put out on Gern Blanston is mind-blowing to me and a lot of folks, because you had people from Rye on it, people from the all-natural lemon and lime flavors, kids that didn't know what music was supposed to sound like. They knew what they liked. They knew what they wanted to change. They didn't know what the instrumentation was, and yet they're like, let's fucking do things. Alop Moment, a fucking hardcore kid. Will Brooks, fucking hip-hop kid. Necros just recently came out as a double LP, double 12-inch, whatever. It was their first EP. Incredible. Like, they were playing with hardcore bands. The first times that I would go to see these guys, they were like break dancers were showing up at their shows, and I would go to, okay, so I'm going to regress a little bit and just talk about Alop, because every once in a while he'd be like, "Hey, Paul, what you doing?" I'm like, "I'm living here. Like, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm bored." I'm like, "I'm going to bring a bottle of whiskey over. We're going to drink all night. We're just going to listen to music." I'm like, "That's fine." His dad was a fucking amazing comedian. And that's the best thing I ever learned from Alap was about Indian food. Is like, it's not real Indian food unless your nose sweats. He says you're not actually having Indian food unless your nose sweats. And we went up into his kitchen a couple nights during those whiskey nights. And oh God, my fucking nose is sweating. But it's some of the most delicious stuff I've ever had. Anyway. Negros. Remastered, remixed. Originally on Grim Blanston in 97, 98, 96. Whatever. Actually, with proper cover art. I think the original picture with this was taken by like Dave Alito from the fucking Rye Coalition. Shot a picture of Will and just like drew over it in like magic marker or some shit. Mm-hmm. The weird thing about this, to me personally, like going through some of these songs that were not on the original record, is I remember hearing them like in their like sort of larval salamander form, and this particularly for me came out in 2024. It's not like one of my things that is like, this isn't retro. You can still get this. Epicac has them. I think Epicac put it out. Yeah, they did. Mr. Bungle. I talked about Mr. Bungle earlier.
You did. Well, yeah.
Taking a pause. Any hands yet? I got a lot more to say about this if there's no hands.
Keep your hands down.
I feel the vibe. Look.
Dalek. I know Doctor Who, where
Dalek.
The name Dalek probably came from.
Diane, you know these guys.
Yeah, totally. Alap has a big Morbid Angel tattoo on him.
Yeah, he fucking does. Foster, and do you guys know this band?
No.
Oh.
Their second record, when it came out, there's there's an incredible lyric. Yeah, I'm not even going.
It's so incredible. You've forgotten it.
Well, I don't want to go into it. It's like this is the thing. Okay, I'll tell you like personally why I liked knowing these people and knowing this band is early mid 80s growing up in hip hop. Like you got like Public Enemy and you've got like culturally rap and hip hop defined like neck and neck with like skateboarding and stuff like that. And then it separated. I separated musically, like it all separated. And I hadn't heard a band. So like it's not just hip hop. I should mention like My Bloody Valentine, and it's the reason that I like that Kalamazoo drone noise project is because of this band. It's soundscape stuff. But back to my other point. It took a long time for me to understand this is the band that brought me back to politically active hip hop. Because in my mind, I just saw it like getting commercial and like big pants and like, I like butts and I can't deny. And like, it just like got so like that. And Dalek was that band that helped me understand that there's still like punk rock. There's still people talking about things, still people wanting to make change and still trying to do difference. And the fact that they were playing with CMJ with like all of the current whatever college bands, seeing them with like punk rock bands in everywhere. They're a fucking great band. And oh shit, this might be and I'm also sorry, this might be the only record I'm showing that you might not be able to have anymore. So I think there was only like 1,000 of them. Go to Dalek Bandcamp and you can get this.
Dalek.
God, that was like a wait. Like nobody fucking cared. I felt the oxygen get sucked out of the room.
Hey, it happens to me every week. Feel my pain.
Oh, I'm interested. It kind of reminds me.
I'm always
I mean,
interested.
I don't know anything about like how it sounds versus what I'm about to say, but it reminds me of like, do you remember that band, the Beatniks?
Yeah.
Like they were part of like punk, and they were on Alternative Tentacles, and I saw them play one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life at a CMJ Alternative Tentacles show at Pyramid, and they were like phenomenal,
They
but
were
like
on Alternative
totally
Tentacles,
different.
right?
What?
They were on Alternative Tentacles, right?
Alternative Tentacles, but like they were like different, so different than all those other bands, but they were part of that scene, and they were it was the greatest show of my life, actually, that whole night. Because I also saw No Means No, like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and no record of theirs has ever come close to what I saw on that stage, even though they have some really, really good records. Anyway, the point is, like, I love that, like having like, you know, these bands that, you know, it's not like always all the same stuff. It's like they're part of the scene, everybody's part of it together, and that's awesome.
I will say this. I did ask Dad, like you have such a great message, and like some of the like sound quotes, they're not like Anna Nicole Smith being like, oh, does this smell like my butthole, or like I don't know Anna Nicole Smith. I don't know why I said that, and she was probably a fine person.
It's round 4.
But like their like samples are like Charles Bukowski and stuff like that. And I asked like Will, I'm like, Dalek, I'm like, why don't you think that your message has transcended like what you're doing? You've got great message, like this is amazing things, and they're caught in this middle of, they do soundscape textural stuff like the My Bloody Valentine thing, but then they do hip hop stuff, so there's like not a blend of theory and music, and yeah, which is sad but great. Their last record, the one they just put out, is fucking insane.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll check it out. Bandcamp on Bandcamp, right? And
I'm sorry, Diane. I know I took too long. I felt it. I felt as soon as I opened my mouth, I knew I took too
long. Never mind.
Right. No, don't never mind.
Diane, what's your next pick?
Oh, Dialect are awesome.
You wait till you see my last pick. Anyway, Diane, what's your next pick?
Okay, going to 1979.
Oh my God! Sorry, I was literally just listening to that last night, and I almost put it in my pile.
But I did.
Which is great.
Pile. This is Magazine's second
Diane,
album. Yes.
For 1 second, hold that record up, and Foster, hold the record up from Dr.
I've got to get down on my hands and knees, and actually, it's right here.
No, not your magazine record.
Not my magazine.
No,
record.
Don't pull up the magazine record. Pull up the record from the guy from Ann Arbor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, similar.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Bang!
That is crazy. That is crazy.
I don't think this was a coincidence. You've redeemed yourself there with that observation there, Paul. Diane, talk about this record. It's so good.
This is such a great record. This is Magazine's second album. And there they are, skipping the late John Magoach, my favorite guitar players. And I can't hold this up the right way. Oh, look, you have a sticker on yours.
Special
my God. Everyone's holding theirs up.
Oh, was that the version sticker?
Yeah, it's special low price.
Yeah, I think
I think I might be the only one that doesn't have that on vinyl. But...
Well,
oh God,
what is there to say about this record? So I think that their first album, Real Life, is one of my favorite records, and this one, so Real Life has kind of got a lot of zing and energy and punch to it. And this one is all atmosphere. It's not all atmosphere, there's songs. And I think that there's 2 songs that probably could be on Real Life, but they just turn up the cold. Like
Permafrost.
Oh my God. So Howard Devoto leaves the Buzzcocks, like boredom, and then he's doing permafrost. Like, oh my. Like, Howard, tell us how you really feel. But yeah.
It is about like atmosphere. When I was listening to it the other day, I was like, this might not make any sense, but it's almost like if David Bowie had sort of gone more punk.
Oh, but you know who produced the record? Colin Thurston produced the record. He was Tony Visconti's engineer on Heroes and Lust for Life. And Magazine wanted to get Visconti, and they couldn't get him. So they got Colin Thurston. It's the first time he ever produced. But he got that drum sound. He got that. Like, this record, every instrument is just at its apex. It's so fucking good. And you really get Devoto's personality. Paul has a question. Hello, Paul.
Diane, did you hear this as it was coming out, and when you heard it when it was coming out? If you did, what was your reaction then to now? So
I really loved Real Life, and that's more of a, it's more like the first Cure record. It's just, it's pop, not pop, but bam, 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 bam. And this has got long freaking songs in it.
And slow songs, right?
Yeah, there's 2. Oh, so one song is 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and 3 songs are over 5 minutes. Those are not Buzzcock songs.
So like at the time, you were also listening to other things. So was your first reaction just like, fucking, I need a Tums?
Oh, no, not at all, because I love them. And at the time, it did take me a little bit to get used to the record, because it's a freaking prog record.
I was going to say that. Actually,
it's a mix of prog and black metal sensibilities in terms of how cold it is.
Yeah, where's that fucking Canada guy right now?
Yeah.
I had to at least play a little bit. This is the only Magazine record I own.
Oh.
At least I had something.
There you go.
Yeah, Diane.
Now we're definitely up in the show numbers.
There you go.
I'm pushing the numbers up. I had to do something.
And the original copy that I had of Real Life, it's got those kind of sketched out faces, and it had a gray border. And I lent it to a friend because this was, late 70s, and I was trying to turn everybody on to music I could. And you lend a record to a friend, and then you realize afterwards that they don't know how to take care of records. So she left it in the back of her car, not the back seat, the back window. So I got the record back, and it was like a plate, and I had to buy it, but by then the cover was changed. There was no gray border. And I'm so ashamed of that. I have a second fucking pressing of that.
Are you guys still friends?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Diane, is that your favorite Magazine album? Would you say?
What?
That secondhand.
Well, my favorite is really the first one.
Okay,
all right. This is a really great. This is on its way somewhere. It's just the atmosphere. It's something. Because the first Magazine record, I do really love it, and it's not the same, but it was, I don't know. I think it would be harder for me to talk about it as I'm, not knowing what to say about it now.
Right. It's a really hard record to put into words because it's all about atmosphere and.
Yeah, but this one has so many things going in and out of it.
Yeah.
But there's a part of it though that like still has that element of like there's some fucking catchy parts to that record,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like I don't want anybody to like listen to this and be like, I don't know if I want to get this because
I think it's important. No, I always think
no, there's some really fucking catchy parts and there's
Well,
some
very
good
much
fucking songs.
Very much so.
yeah, and that's what I wanted to say about the Malaria record too. Even though it has all this experimentation, there's still like songs. You know, it's not like just textures and sounds and moods and atmosphere. It's songs. You know, catchy songs with hooks and maybe a good bass line or a chorus or something like that. So
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like a 5-minute song that's fucking catchy as hell.
no.
You're like humming to it and you love it. I mean,
But in
there
1970,
is something wrong with like a mediocre song. It's like, but, like
none of the songs on this record are mediocre.
No.
And some of them could be on their first album. And in 1979, a 6-minute song on a punk record was like, oh, wow, okay. Like, and a little bit of like, oh, it's still going. Like,
This album is on my sort of list of guilty of not listening to enough. You know, one of those. It's like it's just a classic, but you don't listen to it as much as you should do.
Yeah. Yes, I highly recommend a listen. I know that they got back together in like 2008, and they put out a record in 2011, which I actually never listened to.
Oh wow!
But I heard that Barry Adamson did not want to do the band, so it's Howard Devoto and a bunch of strangers. I don't know. They might have a great resume. I just don't know who they are.
I mean, we could sort of go deep into the other members too. You know, like what's his name, Steve, who went on to Susie and the Banshees and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, what's his name, Steve? Like
Steve.
delivering. Oh, Mike, that guy's fucking making sandwiches.
But he makes the best sandwiches. He always gives me extra cheese.
Steve with the cheese, Steve cheese. That's one stuff.
Hey, were you in magazine? Hey, Diane, you get extra cheese for knowing I was in magazine.
Oh God! You know what? Like I was already sort of like looking at my last pick and sort of thinking, why? Now that Diane is magazine, I'm thinking I'm doubling. But you know, I'm sticking with it because this is a really important record to me, and I still think it's a classic.
Hey, wait! Do you want to throw it up? Do you want to put both up and let us choose?
What?
You said you had 2 records.
No, only one.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you guys read that wrong? I thought he was saying he had 2 and he just decided on the one.
This is actually, I only have one. It's one, and as I said,
I heard what you heard.
Can I ask you one question? Who's that lady?
Go ahead.
Who's that lady's face on your left shoulder?
Oh, I don't know, but it's Internal Rock, Grieving Birth, Australian grindcore. She's here every week.
Yeah, Australian grindcore.
Yeah.
Thank you for being present, lady.
My pleasure. Okay, this is probably this is kind of funny. This album was born technically in 1895.
Oh no.
Pretty old. And it was the first album that I was sort of deeply obsessed with. But obviously not in 1895. I'm not that old. It was originally a book. I'm
sure it disintegrated.
However, we did bring up Satan.
Oh
shit!
How many episodes is this really, Mike?
Allow me to introduce myself.
I know what this
Rolling
is.
Stone song. I'm gonna fucking.
It was originally
Did
a
you
book.
post about this?
I think I did. Yeah, I think so.
I know what it is now.
Yeah, I posted the introduction, the narration to this record because it still gives me chills to this day. And I was gonna sort of somberly read it out, but I knew I just couldn't do it, so I skipped that. So anyway, a book. H.G. Wells wrote the book, 1895, about an invasion of Earth from Mars. And then in 1978, a composer called Jeff Wayne decided he was going to make a record about the book, and he did. and it's just, it's I don't know, it's an all timer for me. Here it is. It's the Jeff Wayne's
For the world.
musical version of the War of the Worlds with the Martian tripods on there. If you can name this ship, you get a bonus point. Because there's a song about it on the record, but
The Lusitania?
no, I don't, actually, this could not. I think it is the ship. Actually, this is the ship. This is the ship. Name this ship, not the other ship. Name this ship. It's the HMS Thunderchild. You know,
Thunderchild.
the Thunderchild. Which
that's my fifth pick.
That song always makes me cry. Anyway, what am I talking about? It's the War of the Worlds. It's like a Martian invasion, and it's got like Richard Burton narrating the story, and he has the best voice ever. He's like the British or the Welsh Orson Welles. It's just got. He was a huge actor, one of the old school actor. He's the narrator, tells a story, big long songs, lots of like violins and disco, but also like heavy parts. And when I say heavy, I'm talking sort of Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells heavy. Like
Wait, is this like a reimagined version?
Well, yeah, it's basically the story is pretty faithful to the book. I haven't actually read the book for ages, but it's pretty faithful to the story. It's got some of the same characters in it. So there's narration and music, but like you can't. It's so captivating, like the story, because it's sort of centered around like a few characters that were kind of going through how. Imagine being invaded by an army from Mars who are like more technically advanced than anything that we have on Earth. Paul,
I don't like. Is it like the voice? Is it the entire story, or is it the music?
No, there's like narration and then songs and instrumental as well. When you find out who like is on this record, you'll be like, Jesus Christ. Let's check. Justin Hayward from Moody Blues. You must have heard the song "Forever Autumn." Yeah. It was a big hit. That's like one of the centerpiece of this record. It's beautiful. Like Justin Hayward has.
That's amazing. It's
an amazing song, yeah. So that's on there. And then David Essex, who was a big pop star in the 70s in England. Chris Thompson from Manfred Mann's Earth Band is on this. He plays the voice of humanity.
I love that this is like the first version of like Ashton Kutcher's Punk'd, right? Like he, like you can't like. I get like where it went, but Orson Welles, he killed a nation with that fucking shit. And then
it's not Orson Welles though; it's Richard Burton. Richard Burton is like sort of a kind of he's got that very deep, rich voice, and he's the narrator on this. But
H.G. Wells wrote it.
H.G. Wells wrote
it, and Orson Welles though turned it into like because the book takes place in England, but then Orson Welles had it happening in New Jersey, and people thought it was real.
Jesus,
Jersey,
because it was because he did it on the radio, right?
Really,
and, like, people were like panicking, freaking out because it was a radio play. But it like played out as if it was real. So people were like thinking there was really Martians landing in New Jersey.
Wait, Foster, you know that, right? Like, you know that it caused public fucking panic.
I didn't know anything about the Orson Welles radio play.
Oh, that's a huge thing.
Are you goddamn kidding me?
I only know the OP British version, you know?
Wow.
You and your fucking scones have no idea. In fact, you were thinking we had aliens landing, kids going in basements, siphoning apple cider from behind the woodshed.
It speaks volumes. I don't think anybody did that in England when this record came.
Well, the radio broadcast was like in the 30s.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and it's actually a very frightening story. Like, it's like, even now I sort of get a little bit scared when I listen to this record. It's like,
it is. It's actually, the book is actually so frightening, and so it because he's alone throughout the whole book. No movie has ever gotten the book right, because in the book he's alone, and it's like terrifying and desolate. And of course, in a movie, they don't want a guy just wandering around alone, so they have to add all these other stupid characters.
This is very minimal. There's only a few characters in this, and then it's like Richard Burton's sort of you never know who he is. But
I know.
So Foster, just to be clear, this is like a radio show. This is like pre-TV.
But the American
nobody has like 1.21 gigawatts of like internet coming in.
Oh yeah, people gather around the radio to like listen to everything.
Like legit children, like. It's story time.
Getting some kickback now. That's an urban legend. Nobody actually thought it was really happening.
Not true.
I don't know.
Hey, guess what? Rolo131. What's your real name? I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know about that because I'm familiar.
My parents were alive when that happened. I'm pretty sure they said that people thought it was real. I mean, some people, not everyone, but some people.
I mean, I hadn't even mentioned that on side 3, Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy comes in playing Nathaniel.
A theremin?
Playing Nathaniel the priest, and there goes the Satan aspect, because Phil Lynott, believes that it's all the work of Satan and not and so he's gone about how Satan, and he's having this like dual battle with like Julie Covington, who is like saying no Nathaniel, no, it's just like it's from Mars. And Julie Covington's amazing because she was the original like Don't Cry for Me Argentina vocalist. Another fun fact for you. But I know this is a hard sell for like someone who's never heard this and going to listen to it now, because it's such like 1978 record, like with the disco and the strings, but it's so captivating. It's amazing. I love this record.
It's like a total like awesome like millennial podcast. 20 minutes per side.
But it's been remade, and I looked up who was in it, and I was like, I'm never going to listen to like the 2012 like stage play or the remake or this is the one. 1978. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. That's a weird pick. I know.
It's a really fucking good pick. Like, it took us 20 minutes to get through it.
I mean, I think it's the longest Wikipedia I've seen on any record in my whole life.
Wow.
I didn't even scratch the surface. I didn't even start really talking about it. But
Anne, hit us with it. Hit me with some good, fucking great pop.
All right. Yes. The final one.
Let's have a good record.
So different. This is one of my favorite records.
Wait, different from like other things you've done, or different from everything?
Different from like pretty much everything anybody's done today, but not different from anything that I like. It's exactly what I like. It is like it is perfectly what I like. It is from 1984. It is released on Vox Records. It is a wonderful, delightful garage punk, awesome, joyous, fun, fabulous Gravedigger 5, all black and hairy. Yeah, dude. I wish I could sing, but I'm really terrible. So this is how it goes. Yeah, Gravedigger 5. Look at all those people, dead people rocking out. Yeah,
look at
that. I picked this because it's October and Halloween and all that stuff, but it is a little bit spooky. Gravedigger 5. I'm running out of room, so I'm just gonna put this up here. But before I put it up there, I have to show it again because it's so awesome. Gravedigger 5. Okay, so Are any of you familiar with
No,
Gravedigger
no.
5?
Okay, Gravedigger 5 is the name of the band, I'm assuming.
Is the name of the band. Yeah. The album is called All Black and Hairy. All Black and Hairy. Okay, sorry. That is the song. Everyone, I must tell you, if do any of you like 60s garage punk imitators from Los Angeles, San Diego,
So is this like a sort of is this like a sort of Back from the Grave series, sort of?
I mean, it's
Modern
got.
version,
I mean, it's like this is a band that was like living that lifestyle in the 80s. Greg Shaw produced it, Bump Records.
Okay, there you go.
They dress, look at how they dress. They're wearing like their like suits, like yes. Oh, yes, please.
What does that mean? Like
what?
Living the lifestyles? They were grave robbing, or they were,
no.
Like what is like living,
hanging out with the
lifestyle of grave robbing? Like
no. Living the lifestyle of like the 60s garage guys that dress in the suits and they wear their sunglasses and the right kind of shoes, and they were like. But it was the 80s, but they were like doing that scene, man, and they did it perfectly. So I don't care if you think they're just copycats of a scene that had already come by, because it's awesome. And lots of songs are done by other people. So like about 50% of the album is like originals, and the others are remakes from other bands. Like All Black and Hairy actually is originally done by, pretty sure, by Screamin' Lord Sutch.
Okay, so what are their original you fucking dig?
Yeah, the original songs that I really dig is my favorite song that's an original from this album is called Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Gotcha.
A little bit of trivia.
You dig.
A little bit of trivia. I think Screaming Lord Sutch was the first record to ever be shown on this show. When I put Screaming Lord Jim Martin.
And the Screaming Lord Sutch version of All Black and Hairy is slower. This one is like that. Now, also, wait, guess what? This record too has a mail order form in it, and you can fill out your form on the back and send in your little check, money order, or registered cash.
Is
from Vox and Bump
part of Bump? Is it like a subsidiary of Bump?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to see how much records were. The records were $6 each at the time, just so you know. And yes, what
is an amazing garage rock record.
This is an amazing garage rock record that is from the 80s, so it's not like an authentic 60s, but they are the absolute best at making the sound from the 80s.
How did you find it? Did you stumble upon it? Like what?
I have had this record like my whole life practically, like probably not necessarily since 84, but I probably got this record probably at Venus Records in like 1987. There was a lot of garage stuff down there in the basement when they moved from 8th Street over to St. Mark's.
Yeah.
And Paula Pierce from the Pandora sings back up on one of these songs.
Okay, cool. That's interesting though, because it kind of predates the sort of 90s garage rock.
Right, yeah, it was released in 84. This is their only like full length studio album. They also have a live album that actually has one of my favorite songs of theirs, an original called "It's Spooky," which is not on this album. On the Mirror Cracked is the other album, and I just really love like garage rock stuff. So I guess that's just, and also that cover. I mean, how could you not buy a record with that cover, no matter what it would possibly sound like, especially like in the 80s, like
bet
I
you,
had to do it.
I bet you, if that was released, reviewed by Maximum Rock and Roll, then terrible review. Fast
Terrible review.
forward like 6 more years, it's Tim Johannam's best record of the year. 19,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they were
1991.
like probably like, oh, derivative, but like, who cares? It's amazing. It's so catchy, and you dance to it. You never want to stop, and it's awesome. And then some of the members went on to form a band called the Morlocks. That was also like a more of like a psych garage band, less dancey, a little bit more moody, like, you know. So
Nice.
Yeah.
that is my final pick.
Beautiful.
No, there's a kid in the chat that's like Archie Comics lifestyle. Yeah, that's Archie Comics.
I mean, I think you could say that about me. I'm like Archie Comics lifestyles to come to life. So I'm happy with that. It's good. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is my final pick. And yay! Please check it out. Look it up.
Nice. All right. Paul, what do you got for us?
Top that, Paul.
Top the grade. 5. 4.
I'm not gonna top that. I just
Are you gonna dance?
I don't know how to. But,
I mean, some might say I don't either, but I love to do it.
Fair. That's fair.
yeah, I remember like at a middle school dance, like I had to go to it. I was like, "Mom, teach me how to dance."
I'm gonna get
like,
depressed if we start talking about.
And like we held hands. Like my mom put my hands in her hands, and like she like did some stuff, and then she was like, "Just go do whatever." Like, she knew, like,
just sort of move about a bit.
So, my last pick.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great. Do you guys know about the band ID Under? Nobody does. It doesn't matter. Chicago band, mid 80s. Diane might know. They had a song called Bela Lugosi's Not Dead, But You Are. So Doug Ward has been in 100 bands. He was in a band with Ben Weasel. He was in Screeching Weasel for a while. He was in like other Ben Weasel.
Who are you talking about?
Who was the guy that was in the band?
Wait, Doug? Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yes, but we didn't quite kill
That was a little quiet when you mentioned the name of the guy in the band who played with Ben Weasel.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the guy in the name? The guy in the I.
It's fine. Like the guy from ID Under, like one of the best Chicago bands, mid 80s. Diane, you have to know the band. You have to know their song, Bela Lugosi's Not Dead, You Are. It's a fucking great song, right?
I'll look it up.
He's been in tons of bands. A-Bark.
The guy that was in ID Under with, I don't know.
Like, I got Matt Week helping me out on this shit. Like, here's where I'm going with this.
All right, let's give you some space.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me some space. There's a lot going on here. It's a fucking great record. This record knocked me on my socks, like knocked my boots off. You've got him, and then you have a drummer, Cammy, who is like, you look her up on Discogs, and she has she has nothing on Discogs other than bands he played with, but her fucking drumming is insane. There's no way that she doesn't have a history of being
right.
There's no way that she's a remarkable drummer. Here's the fucking record.
Drilling for blasting.
Drilling for blasting. It starts out. Man, look, you know what? This is weird. Okay, hold on.
Have another drink. So, right, the name of the band
is turned here.
The name of the band is ID Under.
No, it's not.
Oh.
ID Under. That is the name of the band.
It's not. The name of the band is Drilling for Blasting.
Drilling for Blasting is the name of the band.
It's two people. It's Cammy and Doug.
Oh, we've got a fan. Matthias.
It's a fucking solid choice.
It's a solid choice.
This goddamn record.
And we know the name of the guy now. It's Doug Ward. There you go.
I was at a point in my life I didn't care about anything. And then I heard this, and it set things differently. It is a guitar player and a drummer. And the way that they do things and the way that they hit things. Look, I said earlier that I don't like harmonica. Well, actually, 3 records I showed tonight also have harmonica. So harmonica. So whatever. Like, I'm just saying that there were things that this band did, and this record probably $6 from the distributor. If anybody right now turns off all of their music and just puts this on their Sony, Spotify, WebTube, blah, 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 and hears that opening guitar riff and then starts, there's no way that you will not buy this. There's absolutely no way. And they're not Discogs available. They're available from all of their... I'm getting into a point right now because this. Foster's waiting for me to say something.
The suspense is killing me. It's a good record, right? It's a solid choice.
There's an amount of blues and hardcore and adults lyrically going through like adult things. It's not just, why can't I skate here? Reagan is bad. And I feel like a lot of stuff and a lot of modern metal is just like in these vacuous terms. There are parts of this record like as a dad and as an adult, I'm like, why am I fucking chopping at shit? Why am I fucking doing these things? And it's these two people, and Cammy is hitting these drums, and she does one of my favorite rock tricks. My favorite rock trick.
Rock tricks.
Because none of you are drummers.
I'm a drummer.
I might be.
Excuse me. I'm a drummer.
Yes, there you go.
I'm a drummer.
And that's why you like that 5th song on that Transmaghetti record, Diane, because Brian is hitting like the clicks and the snare. Cammy's like hitting the sticks against the metal. That's my fucking
rim shot there.
Yeah, all the like the first part, like a couple of the songs, she's like fucking doing some crazy shit. Oh my. What am I doing? I feel like there's so much focus. Nobody has a hand up. Am I that boring?
We don't usually put hands up.
I have my hand up. Hand up.
Yeah.
2 hands up.
Yeah.
And then you can buy this right now, today.
Now.
Yes.
All right.
How old is this record? How old is this record?
20. That's funny. Wait, you guys know the band?
Newish, right? 20 something. That's new.
2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Matt Weeks, help me out. Like, I think he put out the fourth Rotor record. Like,
it's 2019, in fact.
All right. There you go. I'm
doing the fact checking for today's episode.
See if he's lying or not.
It is available on Bandcamp right now. There you go.
There's a hollowness to this, and there's a sorrow to it. And the way that these two people play off each other is haunting and exquisite. And there are points when there's no bass to it, like the Doors, there's no bass. But he's got an octave pedal, so he might do like a loop thing, and then he's got a harmonica over it. It's disgustingly like elegant from song to song. And there's something to be said about the way that somebody puts a record out and the way they arrange their songs. Mm-hmm. I think that's important. Like the first side of Fake Train by Unwound is great, and I fucking lose interest on the second. But the first side of that record is great. But so of like this particular record, wait, Foster, did you raise your hand?
I didn't, but I think the technical term is front loaded for a record like that, you know. Oh, there we go. Matthias is bringing some intel. Wow. Jake was just on the show a couple of weeks ago. There you go.
Matt, help me out. Like, is that...
he's
Matt Weeks. Fucking great record. People like... I'm going to pass this on to you, Diane, and I just want to say, like, I think that there's this focus on bands like the Jesus Lizard that have this, like, front-loaded guitar to be, like, aggressive, whereas lyrically and there's a passion beyond that also has to be aggressive to it. But there's a delicateness to that fucking record and that drumming that is, I don't know. To me, I love it. And that's my last pick of the night. That's my anchor. That's my ballast. That's my port I'm coming into.
You built your house on solid foundation.
None of you had questions. Oh God.
I asked you what year it came out.
We did. I have a lot of questions actually, but
well, do it. Ask me.
No. Just general questions.
Oh.
All right. Diane, what's your?
I don't have a belly button.
All right. 2000. My last pick is from 2008. It is the band's third album.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. We love Annihilation Time.
Oh yes. That's a great pick.
It's a great
Annihilation Time.
Great band. Tales of the Ancient Age. And it's technically on the spine, it says Annihilation Time 3. It doesn't say 3 on the cover. We'll gaze at the cover for a little bit.
Lecherous gaze.
Well, that was next. Lecherous gaze.
I know. I was quick on the
and Graham, who's the guitar player in Annihilation Time, was in Lecherous Gaze. He's also in Witch.
Yep. Yes.
Jay Mascis, and now he's in Stepmother.
Right.
And that's current. and now he's based in Australia.
Mm.
So what do we need to say about this record? Oxnard. This is when they were based in Oxnard, and it's really like Black Flag and Thin Lizzy.
Yeah, that was going to be my. That's how
and every so often, maybe like once or twice in the song, there's like a Ted Nugent groove.
I always say it's like Thin Lizzy made by like hardcore punks, but it's not like God, what's the horrible band? Sheer Mag. It's not like that because they kind of had a bit of a Thin Lizzy thing, but this is like real like Thin Lizzy made by kind of hardcore.
Oh yeah, they've got the twin guitar worship down, like down, but they also have the Black Flag Ron Reyes down.
Right. Yes,
and they have this record has a nice big fold out, and if you look real quick, like look at that back cover. What did you just see?
Paul Bearer from Sheer Terror.
No, but it's on the back of a Black Flag record.
Yeah.
Right? Like that looks like a Black Flag record. Just the way the type is and all, like it's just boom, 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 like that is SST.
But like the first album is like really Black Flagish without the Thin Lizzy stuff.
Oh, yeah. The gray one.
Yes, yeah. Jimmy.
And for Halloween, you got some Creature from the Black Lagoon. October. Got to celebrate October. And then the classic. Yes, Paul?
That record cover is fucking crazy.
Yes, it is. There are UFOs in this record cover.
Yeah.
And flying airplanes and strip clubs. And
is there a gold bug?
A lot of amputees, somebody getting eaten by an alligator. Yeah.
I think it's sort of hard to get like hard rock and punk rock and mix the two and sort of get it to work.
Get it well, yeah. That's very.
They do it absolutely like it could go very wrong, but they get it absolutely perfect.
It could get cheesy really fast.
Yeah.
And this is, but so with songs like Jonestown, Just Guzzlin', Bald Headed Woman, they're sort of like we're injecting the cheese like like there's cheese there. But it's the type of cheese. And
Guitarist is amazing. They kind of reformed and they did like a few gigs in Japan.
Oh yeah,
X amount of years ago, and like I went obviously, and it was so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, I saw them in some very very small venues in New York. Love them.
But they're playing at the sort of the municipal wastes.
Oh yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Thing.
You know, I went to that Richmond festival that I talked about in the first two records, and I'm like, I think I got to go back to Richmond because that's
like midnight, Annihilation Time, like municipal waste. 2 days, right?
Thing. And 2 different clubs too.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
So that's like the end of the show.
It is the end of the show for the viewers.
Yeah, however,
we're going like we're almost. This is actually we're almost at the longest show ever point.
But I have an idea.
Showed like 30 records.
Not only that.
I just have an idea, right? Like we all have like records behind us. Like, what if we just like did?
Oh God!
Like
random pull.
It would start with you. Like, what if we all just did a random pull?
Do it.
It's got to be genuinely random though. Like it can't be like you look at it and then like no, not that one.
No, just pull it out, no matter what it is.
Wait. We have to just. It's everybody has to agree. Do you want to just do a random pull?
Random pull.
All at the same time. We can't spend any time talking about them. We'll just do a random pull.
No. Yeah.
Show it.
Yeah, just for fun.
See you next week.
No, I disagree. No, I disagree.
You're on the hot seat.
Longest show. Longest show.
It
Longest
already
show.
is the longest show.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that. I'm doing.
All
I'm
right.
doing.
Well, if you put wait, no, random.
I'm not
no,
even
no,
looking.
no. Take your hand away. Take your hand away. Yeah, I feel like it has to be a deck of cards. You got to like do this thing, and we say stop, and then you pull, and then
that could. Okay,
right.
fair enough.
All right.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
down. I'm gonna go down to the next shelf though for that. But okay.
Oh, I got a bunch of 7 inches down on the floor
Okay.
here. So
You want to do the countdown, Paul? Like some kind of like countdown, and then when you say the number one or whatever, we pull.
Well, you have to talk about it for a second.
Oh, longest show.
It doesn't matter. Like the longest show doesn't matter because your shortest shows don't matter either. Like they all get the same amount of hits. Like
Not really. No. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, go on,
right.
Paul. Do the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, grab.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Why do you like
AC/DC,
it?
flick of the switch. The best AC/DC album with Brian Johnson. There you go.
That's your talk. All right.
That.
Me next.
Yeah.
You counting me down?
5, 4, 3, 2, grab.
This is like a
Bolshoi. Oh wow!
yeah,
Nice.
Talk
yeah,
about
it's
it.
like an 80s goth, fake
Yeah.
goth.
That's amazing. I love that record.
Yeah, but new wave pretending to be goth.
Kind of the Mission, kind of, but like nice.
Yeah. That was fun.
All right. So Paul.
5, 4,
4,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Oh,
oh.
Pull. Grab. Bread.
Bread and
Bread
circuits.
circuits. Okay.
It's a fucking good record. Mike Kirsch, amazing guitar player, amazing fucking band, like everything.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right.
All right, Diane, ready? 5, 4,
4,
3, 2, 1.
One pull.
oh.
Oh.
It's the Cop City Chill Pillars.
What the fuck
Of course
is
it is.
Cop City Chill Pillars?
Oh, he's going this way.
That was my. What's weird about that is that was my high school nickname. So.
Did you know we went A B B C? AC/DC, Bolshoi, Bread, and Circuits, Cop City.
Well, we were all sitting near the beginning of our alphabet.
Exactly. But not the
And
C's
this is
over
some,
Yeah.
this is some like minimal head fuck stuff.
there.
It's
Like
like
the show.
Oh.
All right. Wow, that was so much fun. We're probably going to talk a bit more after the show because I've got some questions.
okay,
Let
just so
me
you know, the
let me
mule
announce.
skates have
There you go. It's got a horse.
smiley faces on them.
It's got a horse on roller skates.
I think it's a mule.
A mule on roller skates.
A mule on roller skates, but the roller skates have smiley faces on them.
There you go.
Diane, stay on. I want that record.
All right. Let me announce next week's extravaganza.
It's on next week.
Next Friday.
Why don't we just stay on all week?
Okay. I'll still be,
And we're just going to keep doing random.
yeah, I'll still be
polls.
sat here. So, October 18th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Jeff DeSantis, Tony Rittman, the author.
Fucking Tony's back.
He's back. He's back.
Awesome.
Tony's back. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you stayed with us to the end.
I don't know if anybody could stomach that.
By this.
If you stayed to the end, you get a special prize, whatever that is. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. It's been fun. Check out that record. Check out all the records. Until next time, stay healthy, and of course,
Stay clean.
please, I beg of thee,